Season begins in Atlanta with a new man at the helm and a few fresh faces. It also features one of the best starters in the game and the youngest unanimous MVP in baseball history. Opening day is here. The Nats battle the Braves on MASN.
It's the day every baseball fan lives for. It's opening day downtown Atlanta. It's absolutely gorgeous here in Georgia. Nats and the Braves getting together. A couple of ball clubs that might be going in different directions, but the Braves and the Nats have a great rivalry. Why not Atlanta? Last year of Turner Field on opening day. Bob and FP, we've unleashed this guy. He's out of his winter baseball hibernation, ready for opening day, and it's going to be fun.
No matter how many you're a part of, it never gets old. I have to calm down today. I'm fired up. It's Christmas Day. It's New Year's Day, all rolled into one. Let's do this thing.
Hey, we're the only broadcasters in this league that get to start with the MVP. So let's talk about Bryce Harper. Amazing season last year. If there hadn't been so many injuries to Span and Rendon, he probably would have driven in 120 runs or more. Storybook season for the guy, and he was only 22 at the time.
Yeah, flirted with the Triple Crown. Just look at the numbers. Bryce Harper with an unbelievable season. And what does he have in store next? Well, we know he likes opening day. There's no doubt about it. If you go back to April 1st, 2013, off Ricky Nolasco, he didn't hit just one home run. He hit 2 home runs off Nolasco. So big stage Bryce, big game Bryce, whatever you want to call him, with the I love you as he crosses home plate up to his parents. And then 2015, Bartolo Colon, Nats Park, April 6th, another home run on opening day. And oh, by the way, off Julio Teheran, Bryce's numbers, 435 career, 3 home runs, some serious ownage against Teheran. It'd be interesting to see if they pitch to him today.
Yeah, it will, and maybe Ryan Zimmerman makes them do that. It's almost like getting a new player in Zimmerman if he stays healthy all year. We want that to happen. But there are some new faces here, and they are big-time members of this club.
Yeah, we're going to show you who's in, who's out, the changes from last year to this year. Jordan Zimmerman gone, Ian Desmond gone, Denard Span, Drew Storn. 4 new relievers. You see the bench on the left, but the biggest addition that you're not seeing, to me, is Dusty Baker, 17th winningest manager in the history of baseball. He's the active wins leader right now, or second behind Bruce Bochy, so he's fired up to get going. His presence in spring training alone has just been amazing. When you talk to the players, they're loose, they're relaxed, unlike this broadcaster going into opening day.
All right, well, we get to talk about an MVP and a guy who threw 2 no-hitters. They're both in the lineup on opening day. Max Scherzer, 276 strikeouts, 14 wins, 2.79 ERA. You know what he did twice. No kidding.
At Turner Field, the Nats went 14-5 against the Braves last year. Ironically, Max Scherzer only pitched against them once. We'll talk about some of the matchups when he gets out on the mound. But a storybook season in a lot of ways for Bryce Harper and for the Nationals ace. And he was right up there in all the National League ranks last year.
Well, you look at the season for Max Scherzer, the starts tied for first, wins 7th. That could have been a lot better with a little bit of luck, but you throw a couple of no-hitters in there, what he did last year, just an amazing mound presence. He can't wait to get going. And I love his quote the other day about if you need last year's motivation, you're looking in the wrong place for motivation. He's motivated every 5th day he takes that mound.
It is opening day. Ryan Zimmerman's been around for most of them for the Nats. And a few moments ago, he visited with Dan.
Thank you, Bob. Zim, you've done opening day a time or two before. What are the emotions you feel as you get ready to run out?
It's always a fun day, another great team this year, and we're just excited to get started.
What do you think of the team that you guys have assembled? You've gotten a feel of it over the last handful of weeks down in spring.
Oh, it's a good group of guys. I think Riz and those guys do a great job of obviously getting us talent, but great people as well, and it's going to be a lot of fun this year.
Thanks for the time, Zim.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Ryan. And Mr. Brave. It's the final season of Turner Field. It's only been around for 20 years. Nats lined up, and we are ready to go. How about some opening day baseball?
A few changes up and down the lineup here and there, but Dusty's going to use all of the guys in that dugout, FP. One of his strengths as a skipper. Every man of that 25-man roster, so important to him.
Well, his philosophy is you're all big leaguers, and if I throw you out there on a Sunday day game after a Saturday night game, you're fresh, the other guys are tired, we're still going to win. So you'll see a lot of the bench starting on day games after night games this year. The bench is going to be used more than you're used to seeing here in D.C.
Dusty, 1,671 wins in 20 years. Let's check out the weather. I don't see a cloud in the sky. It's 75 degrees. It's not muggy at all. Amazing weather here in Atlanta to get things going. Just a wisp of a breeze that will come out of the west and kind of be a little bit cross from left to right here at Turner Field. The ballpark that brought baseball its first huge video screen. I don't know if they can ship that thing up to Cobb County, but construction well underway up there, and the Braves will be opening their new ballpark a year from right now. How about some keys for this ball club, FP, this season? We've talked about the back of the rotation, the bullpen, Ryan Zimmerman. Anything else jump out at you?
Well, I think it's pretty simple. You can sit here and break down the bullpen, the starting rotation, Anthony Rendon, Ryan Zimmerman, but it's real simple to me. Stay healthy. Last year they had so many injuries, so much time on the disabled list with such key players. You know, Jason Worth, Ryan Zimmerman. I mean, we don't have time to name all the guys that went on the DL last year. But if they stay healthy, in my opinion, they will win the National League East. It's pretty simple. If this team is run out there, would they have their starting lineup 2 games last year? Their opening day lineup 2 games? If they can.
A great motorcade out here before. Bobby Cox threw out the first pitch. One of the great managers in baseball history. Great to see Bobby in the ballpark. I know you got to spend a few minutes with him.
I did. One of my favorite managers of all time. Chipper Jones is an instructor now. Andrew Jones was here. So you'd think the last year at Turner Field, they're going to run all the teams in the 90s through this place and have a lot of ceremonies.
Yeah, probably over the last 20 years, one of the not great ballparks that had some really, really great teams in it. This ballpark was originally the 1996 Olympic Stadium. They basically tore down the left field area and made it into a baseball park. So it's Rendon behind Revere in front of Bryce Harper, who just about wore out the Braves last year, homering once of every 3 games. A lot of extra base hits, hit almost 370. Zimmerman, Murphy, and Worth, the middle. Wilson Ramos, Danny Espinoza, the superior glove man at short. How will Danny fare as a hitter, playing every day at least to start the season? That'll be fascinating to watch as well. 25-year-old Julio Teheran, 3-2 career against the Nats in 11 starts.
3rd consecutive opening day start for Teheran. First Brave to do that since Derek Lowe did it from 09 to 11. Went 8-2 with a 2.89 ERA in this ballpark in 17 starts last year. So a guy the Nats have hit well in the past, but he loves to pitch at Turner Field.
Braves had a pitching nightmare last year. Their ERA 4.41. Only the Phillies and the Rockies were higher and gave up more runs than Atlanta. Here's his repertoire.
A fastball average 91, slider 81, curveball 76, changeup 83. But he's a guy, for me, you got to get in the stretch. From the stretch last year, hitters hit 273 against him. So Ben Revere, get on base, get him in the stretch, see what happens. Set the defense for the Braves behind Julio Teheran today. Oliveira, Inciarte, Markakis the outfield. Ibar Garcia left side. Peterson Freeman right side. And good old A.J. Przinsky behind the plate.
40 years of age, A.J. Well, approaching 40.
And there's the Nat killer, Freddie Freeman.
Oh, boy. Pitch around him. Pitch around him.
I must say that right now. Avoid him for the next couple days.
The umpires for opening day, crew chief Jerry Meals, 19th year behind the plate. Ron Culpa, 18th year at first base. Paul Nauer, 20th year. He's at second. Chris Conroy in his 7th year. He's at third.
Game on, baby. Here we go. 2016 season is upon us. The 6-month reality show that is Nats baseball starts right now. Here we go.
With a few twists and turns on the way. Every day, every week, every month. Ben Revere, 298 for the Phillies last year, 24 steals. 319 for the Blue Jays in just a handful of ball games in August and September. 7 stolen bases. And we're ready for the 2016 season to start. We're about 3 minutes late. Nobody's standing except the players. Strike one. Revere, Rendon, and Harper. We may have to walk up Bryce for his first at bat here. Man, did he hear it during the pregame intros. Breaking ball, and Revere down the right field line, but foul.
Ball hooking about 7 or 8 feet.
And first pitch fastball down the middle. Looks like he got a slider here from Teheran, just a little out front. Last year, lefties hit .297 against Julio Teheran.
Well, the Nats lineup sure changed when Revere and Murphy came over for a couple of reasons. First of all, they're both left-handed, which really balanced things with Bryce. And then they're guys who put the ball in play. Nasty breaking ball, foul tip, held on by Pierzynski for the first out.
Yeah, probably looked like a fastball to Ben Revere for about 58 feet. Watch how late the slider breaks. Right at the end, Pierzynski had trouble hanging on to it, so a guy that's tough to strike out, and Ben Revere strikes out to lead this season off.
Anthony Rendon, only 80 games last year. 311 at bats, 82 hits. Sprained the knee in spring training, the left quad in June. Hit .264, 5 homers, 25 batted in. He's 4 for 16 career with a couple of RBIs against Julio Teheran. Got some movement on that fastball too.
Teheran not a guy that's going to overpower you. The fastball in the low 90s, but he's a nibbler. I think he has trouble pitching with a lead more than in a close game. There's been times when he's had a 5, 6, 7 run lead against the Nats and he hasn't been able to hold on to it. He's better in close games.
Takes a little bit off that heater. 84 on the changeup. Teheran, 40 career wins, 30 losses, his 101st career start, number 12 against Washington. 2-1 count. The second baseman, Jace Peterson, just moved up the middle, but he can't get over that far. Nats' first base hit of the season from Anthony Rendon.
And for the first time in 2016, there goes a no-hitter.
Here comes Bryce. Listen in. I'd probably boo him too if he hit .369 against my team last year. Greatest sign of respect for a player, booed loudly on the road. We talked about those numbers against Teheran. 10 for 23, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, .435 career.
Dangerous place to go. If you're going to throw in the Bryce Harper, you better miss off the plate in, because if that thing tails back over the plate, it could go far. Going in there again. Better get it in.
Yeah, well off the plate. Pierzynski thought about a throw to first. And the count's 2-0.
A 3 home runs career off Teheran, and I wouldn't expect this ball is going to be anywhere close. If it's a fastball, he's going to try to shave that outside corner or the inside corner if he throws a fastball. I wouldn't give him anything to hit right here. Change up.
Here's our first Nissan pitch track on a changeup.
Right over the top, 2-0 changeup right down the middle. I think that was Bryce seeing if they're going to pitch to him or not, taking a strike all the way.
Looked like a hard slider down and in. Second time A.J. Pierzynski's had a hard time holding on to a pitch.
But that'll tell you how good the slider is early from Julio Teheran. Yeah, it's the top of the first inning, but we always used to say if a catcher's not catching a pitch, it must be nasty. A.J. Pierzynski's good with the glove, and he's dropped 2 Teheran sliders. It's a good one so far.
2-strike count, gets the crowd making some noise. Runner moving. Harper, a foul ball off to the left. So Anthony Rendon on the move. The Nats only stole 57 bases last year, Only the Mets fewer in the National League at 51. And I know base running's more than just stealing bases, but getting guys moving and going first to third.
Well, I like it. He had a good jump. Be aggressive. The Nats were so station to station last year because the top of their order was injured. And that gives you an idea what Dusty Baker thinks about running the bases. Rendon had a great jump, and he's got the green light.
Breaking ball, and Bryce did well to get a piece of it. Let's go inside the numbers with Jeep. MVP voting last year, Bryce got all the first place votes. Paul Goldschmidt, Joey Votto, monster seasons for the Diamondbacks and the Reds. Anthony Rizzo's team went to the LCS. McCutchen. How about some of the young talent in this league?
Game's in good shape, real good shape.
It's in good hands, yeah. 2-2 again. Rendon in, standing up.
Well, something I forgot to tell you in my scouting report, Julio Teheran, one of the better right-handed moves in baseball. He's got quick feet, he's got a short arm stroke, and he gets a lot on it. So if you're on first base today, you have to watch the move of Teheran. He keeps guys close. Talking to Davey Lopes about that before the game.
Harper gashes one right field corner and about 3 feet foul.
How do you get the barrel to that pitch? It was up and in, it was off the plate, and he still barreled it up and almost kept it fair. Talking about quick bat and pulling your hands in. Might have had a little more plate than I originally thought, but watch how quick Bryce Harper is to this inside fastball. You're not getting in there if it's a strike. You're not. We saw people try all last year and they couldn't.
Runner aboard with 1 out. Target in again. They've got Rendon picked off. 1-3-6-1. 2 down.
Such a quick move. It's exactly what we were just talking about. And Rendon have lean going. And the quick move from Teheran. And talking to Davey Lopes, and maybe we can see it on a replay, he has a balk move where he kind of buckles his front knee and comes over. I wonder if that's what Anthony Rendon saw right there. So as a base runner, you're looking at the lower half. Yeah, did you see the balk move by Teheran that didn't get called? Maybe if we get a pitch or coming back from break, we can show you that again. That should have been called a balk.
2-2. Harper high in the air, right field. If it's fair, it's gone. See you later. 1-0 Nationals. His 4th career opening day home run.
Big game Bryce. We talked about it in the open. He loves opening day. 2013, 2 off Nolasco. 2015, 1 off Bartolo Colon. In 2016, 1 off Julio Teheran. And here we go again, folks.
What an eventful at bat. Pulled a line drive, right field corner. He fouled off a breaking ball that didn't look like it was reachable. Now it's Ryan Zimmerman with 2 outs and the Nats on top.
He fouled off some tough pitches. He got one he could handle. And that's how the 2016 season starts for Bryce Harper, a tater.
And Teheran couldn't run that fastball back to the outside edge. 1-1. Nats were 3rd in the league in home runs last year with 177. Ryan Zimmerman had 73 RBIs in just 95 games. High slider, couldn't get to it. His production per at bat last year was amazing. He basically had an RBI every 5 at bats. Foul tip. Pierzynski unable to squeeze it.
Yeah, I think Ryan's going to have a huge year because people are going to avoid Bryce Harper. Julio Teheran got macho right there once he had the pickoff of Rendon. He might not have thrown that pitch with a runner on. But unless Bryce picks up all the scraps every at-bat, which I don't think is going to happen, if Ryan Zimmerman's on the field for 140 games plus, he's going to have a monster year.
Great bat control by Ryan Zimmerman to get the count back even.
He's teasing that outside corner, trying to run that fastball back. Pretty close.
They shade him up the middle on the right side of the infield.
He shook off 4 pitches.
A lot of room through shortstop. A lot of room in left center. Tells you how Tehran wants to pitch Ryan. Away, away. And a chopper out to short. That's Eric Ibor, the former Angel, who's here as the shortstop now. And he just pulled Freddie Freeman off the bag with his first throw as a Brave. That'll be an E6.
No matter how long you've played this game or how many opening days you've had, there's always that adrenaline going, that extra surge you have in the first game of the year. And you wonder if nerves were a part of Eric Ibor kind of pulling that ball. And Freddie Freeman couldn't stay on the base. Bryce Harper's digging the hustle by Ryan Zimmerman, and the inning continues.
Hey, anything to extend Tehran, who's now over 20 pitches already. Daniel Murphy is next. And Murph has had good success against Tehran, 6 for 16 career with 5 RBIs. .281 for the Mets last year, 14 home runs, 7 more in postseason. He drove in 73, and then 11 in the division series and the LCS.
I always think it's a good thing in the top of the first inning of a season if you can get a there goes the no-hitter and a see you later in. I mean, that's got to be a good sign for the season, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, me too.
Fastball tailing away.
It's just watching Bryce for all these years now. Nothing surprises me. And that was one of the better at-bats we've seen him have, and that's saying a lot. The borderline pitches he fouled off to get to that last pitch and hit it out. Unreal.
Now Tehran nibbling at the corners. That was Stephen Drew alongside. He had to like what he saw from his new teammate. It's a foul ball.
And Freddie Freeman was pretty sure that was foul. I don't know that we were. You want to see the hit speed? What was it? First Tater of the year for Bryce Harper?
I'll go 104.
I'll say 102 because it's right there on the screen. I don't think he got that. He's that strong. When he gets him in the upper deck, but I think he muscled that ball out of here.
2-1 to Murphy. Boy, he's got a great eye. Those are 3 borderline fastballs he's taken out there. Every one of them called a ball.
Told me he's looking for something down the middle and get off an A swing on it. That's his whole game plan, his approach all season long. A lot of plate, take a big rip.
.288 career hitter. Takes the 2-out walk, and the Nats will extend things on Tehran even further, and Jason Worth will be next.
I mean, Julio Tehran had to be feeling pretty good about himself, right? Struck out Ben Revere, gave up a knock, picked off Anthony Rendon, maybe took a deep breath and said, I got 2 outs, I'm good. And all of a sudden you got a home run that I would love to see again. How about you?
Sure.
Yeah, a little slider down in. You saw the reach from A.J. Pierzynski. This was supposed to be a backdoor slider. It started down the middle and broke right into his sweet spot. 1-0 Nats.
Jason Worth coming off a .221 injury-filled season. 5 career hits, 3 RBIs against Tehran. So the Nats have had 4 base runners in this inning out of the first 5 hitters. That's outside.
Well, if you've noticed, Teheran is on the first base side of the rubber, and pretty much every single pitch has been to the glove side, meaning away to righties and into lefties. He likes that side of the plate.
And the next pitch will be number 30 here in the first inning.
See a lot of that this year with this lineup.
Breaking ball got him. The Nats made him work long and hard because with 2 outs and the bases empty, Bryce Harper kept the inning going. Harper going deep, and I mean high and deep. And for Bryce, career number 98. Nationals baseball on MASN, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA. State Capitol, downtown Atlanta.
Hey, Bryce, look at the veteran Bryce Harper already working calls, giving umpires knucks on the way out to right field.
Braves have a new look. Freddie Freeman hitting behind Ender Inciarte, who was in Arizona, and Eric Aybar, who was in Anaheim. Freddie Freeman, 118 games last year. He had some injury problems, but he looks like Babe Ruth against the Nats. We'll bring you up to date on some of these new Braves, and here's Inciarte. Max Scherzer's first pitch of the season, way outside.
Last start, you all remembered, October 3rd, 2015 against the Mets, struck out a career-high 17, set a Nats single-season record for strikeouts in a game, and oh, by the way, threw his second no-hitter of the year.
Inciarte, part of the trade with Arizona that brought Shelby Miller out there. And here's his arsenal.
Fastball last year averaged 94.2 miles an hour.
Inciarte, 303 for the Diamondbacks in 132 games last year. 21 stolen bases. Still just 25 years of age. I know we were very impressed with him in the limited time we get to see Arizona.
Pretty good trade for the Braves, in my opinion.
Yeah. Scherzer will bounce the breaking ball, and Ramos blocked it. Max against the Braves' career, just one start as a Nat. That was a complete game loss on July 2nd last year. 5 hits, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody. One of those tough luck losses you referred to from last season, when he threw 229 innings. And he gets a fly ball to center. Ben Revere.
Let's set the defense behind Max for game 1 of this season. Worth, Revere, Harper the outfield, Espinosa, Rendon left side, Murphy, Zimmerman right side, and Wilson Ramos behind the plate. So Nats' new center fielder, Ben Revere.
By the way, there are a couple of thousand empty seats in the upper deck here at Turner Field for the last opening day in the history of this ballpark. And here is Eric Aybar, who came over from the Angels, part of the Andrelton Simmons trade. A shortstop the Nats are not too upset is no longer in the division. Aybar's been around a while, been an Angel since '06, and at the age of 32 he's the Brave shortstop. 270 there last year.
I think it's key right now for Max Scherzer to get into his rhythm. We know he's an excitable type. We know that he likes big games, but the excitement of opening day, it's going to take him a second to get into that groove. You can see kind of he's missing by a lot right now. That's adrenaline. That's just Max Scherzer being pumped up. And when he starts throwing that slider like that, 1-0 could be enough. Watch this slider, 88 miles an hour. It looks like a fastball and just disappears late. And I don't care how many times you've been out there as a starter on opening day, it's always an honor, it's always a privilege, and you always have to take those big, deep breaths and settle yourself down and calm down and get into your rhythm. And he'll do it. It's just going to be a matter of win.
Ibar doesn't strike out a whole lot, just 62 times last year, 589 at bats. That was 2 years ago, and then last year 73 times in almost 600 ABs. Reaches out and gets some decent wood on that thing, and he's thrown out by Daniel Murphy. 2 outs. Inside the numbers from Jeep. 2 complete game no-hitters in a season. It's only been done by 6 pitchers all time. Johnny Vandermeer, Nolan Ryan, a couple of those. Roy Halladay. Allie Reynolds, the great Yankee, the Chief. Virgil Trucks.
And the 17 strikeouts in the second no-hitter tied Nolan Ryan for most strikeouts in a no-no.
Freddie Freeman hurt his wrist on June 23rd, hit by a pitch. He had a major league leading consecutive game streak ended that day at 234. Airs it out on a 2-0 count. So the Braves only had him for 118 games last year.
Final season, Turner Field. A 95 and a 96 back-to-back to Freddie Freeman, so Max reaching back here.
And you better have that if you're going to go in there, just like against Harper, huh?
Well, if you're Freddie Freeman, you're hitting third, you're going to get 95, 96 for Max.
Freeman high in the air to center. And the ball just gets out to tie the game. Max challenged him, and Freddie Freeman continues to punish Washington pitching.
I mean, you talk about setting a trap. He blew 95 by him. He blew 96 by him. So what else do you put down if you're Wilson Ramos? He was late on 2 consecutive fastballs. And Freddie Freeman setting a big-time trap right there, starting to swing earlier. He knew he was tardy to the previous pitches, caught it out front, and the Nats killer continues his killing of the Nats. I mean, that's the only guy that can hurt you in this lineup consistently.
Freddie Freeman, 105 career homers with that blast. They're chanting Freddie here. Bouncer past the mound, rushing in Espinosa. Danny plays it very well. Each team with a solo, and they're the guys you would expect, Harper and Freeman. To start off opening day this year, when the Nats win, and they win big, everybody wins. If they get 7 or more to win, you get 50% off. Regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com. Enter promo code NATS50. Better ingredients, better pizza. The official pizza of your Washington Nationals, Papa John's. And that's valid at participating D.C., Maryland, and Northern Virginia Papa John's locations. Ramos, Espinosa, Scherzer, 7, 8, 9. Wilson Ramos just 229 last year, but 68 RBIs in 109 games.
Serious laser show today in batting practice.
Like LASIK laser?
No, laser. Like hit far ones everywhere.
The much publicized LASIK surgery at the start of spring training.
It's always good if your catcher can see.
Spotted that breaking ball, able to hold up.
You know, I've said that for years.
Sometimes it's a very simple game. See ball, hit ball, and behind the plate catch ball. Inside with a fastball. Wilson Ramos last year, 109 games, a career high, 68 RBIs, a career high. Number 2 of National League catchers to Buster Posey, who was way out ahead with 95. Well placed, spud over to cut it off. Left side, Adonis Garcia. First out, top of the second.
With the 2016 Flex Plan, the choice is yours. Pick 4 games starting just $80, plus we'll throw in a free Nats grill item. Visit nationals.com/flex to buy your Flex Plan today. Nats fans making the trip, so I'm all over here this morning.
Yeah, a lot of them over on the third base side. Danny Espinosa, 4 career hits against Julio Teheran. 118 ball games last year for Danny.
Well, the road opener last year was in Boston. I would imagine tickets much more easy for Nats fans here today.
Yeah.
That was the game that 47 pop-ups were dropped.
Seemed like it. Wow, that was a laser beam. Eric Ibard there to grab it, 2 down.
Good swing.
Danny hit it right on the button, and he stayed on that ball really well. Got to bring in Scherzer, who led Nationals pitchers with 15 hits last year and is a career 189 hitter. Worthy to note that on opening day, a 4:10 start. Shadows will be creeping through the infield here in the next couple of innings, and then eventually affect the batter's eye out there. It'll be a while. And that slider right in there, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Teheran first inning, 30 pitches, 19 strikes. He could use a quick inning, and this is his 10th pitch, top of the second. Scherzer will extend things at least another.
Be fun to watch Bryce come around again and see what Julio Teheran does to him. Slider, and he hit it out. And it'd be fun to watch Freddie Freeman come around and see what Max Scherzer does to him second time. That was a fastball down the middle after he was late on the previous 2. So the cat and mouse game between the 2 best hitters on the field, in my opinion.
Max will compete every way he can. Can't reach that slight piece. The Nationals go in order in the bottom of the second. Max Scherzer will go back to work in a tie game.
Above all others, that was to emerge healthy, and they did just that. They've got their projected lineup on the field today, as Dusty Baker hoped. But I asked Dusty the other day, maybe the top positive out of spring training other than his team emerging healthy, and he said attitude. He said we've got a great attitude on this team, and that's important. Said we've got to get an air of confidence about us that we can build on over the course of the season. You're going to go through rough stretches at times. Dusty says it's about how you respond to those stretches that matters, and having a positive, confident attitude helps in that regard. He loves what he saw from his ball club from an attitude perspective over the 6-7 weeks of spring training, guys.
And plus a swagger perspective too. You know, 18 and 19 and 4. You don't put too much into a spring training record, but it's better than 4 and 18. And when you've learned how to win in spring training, a lot of times when you win that much, you can take it right into the season. So we like everything we've seen from Dusty and the players and what we're hearing.
That was Dan with our Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Former Oriole Nick Markakis had a good year back in the native state last year. He is from Woodstock, Georgia originally. 296 here with 53 RBIs. And he golfs one high in the air to the left side. Rendon into the shadows for the first down. This week only, T-Mobile customers get a free season-long subscription to MLB.tv Premium. I said free. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB. Sign up now. Catch every moment on America's fastest growing LTE network. 30-year-old Hector Oliveira right in there. Hit .253 after a September call-up here last year. 24 ball games. This one in the air, right field side. Long one for Harper, battling the sun, and Bryce can't quite get there.
I don't think he ever really saw it. Just by the way he went for that baseball, usually when Bryce knows where ball's going to land, he's going to run to a spot. But he was searching for that baseball the whole time. Watch how he kind of picks it up late and knows that the fence is coming. But if you saw right from the beginning, he was really feeling out where the baseball was that whole process as he went toward the wall. Right field this time of day at Turner Field, very tough.
Sun right in his eyes.
Just look where the shadows are on the players. That'll tell you where the sun is. Boom.
Hector Oliveira hit .323 for Santiago de Cuba from 03 until 2014. Signed with the Dodgers as a free agent last year. And then he ended up in Atlanta when the Dodgers, Marlins, and Braves teamed up on a 13-player deal. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss on a nasty diving breaking ball by Max Scherzer. First strikeout today.
He threw a pretty good slider to Eric Aybar, but this one was better to Oliveira. Watch this thing disappear. On top, out front, nasty late movement. So thanks for coming.
A.J. Pierzynski, 39 years of age now. And the Braves used him perfectly last year. He played 113 games, maybe more than he was supposed to because Christian Bettencourt just never worked out here. And he's no longer with Atlanta. He had 300 here with 49 RBIs and 407 at bats. He and Max know each other well, 36 career matchups. Pierzynski with 11 base hits. Scherzer, some high gas at 95. Challenge again. Foul tip and a strikeout. Max has a quick bottom of the second with a pop fly foul. Strikeouts of Oliveira and Pierzynski. And to the third we go. Ben Revere will lead off again.
It's going to show you Bryce Harper's tater. First of the year. Watch the location of the pitch. Down and in. Everything in the sequence. Look, it was in, but he missed off the plate in with that pitch. And Bryce Harper on a location mistake. Pierzynski wanted it down and away. A backdoor slider that started over the middle broke right into Bryce Harper's turbo zone for his first home run of the year.
He'll bat here in the third after Revere, after Rendon. They're pinching at the corners against the Nats leadoff man, enhancing his chances of punching a base hit by somebody. Ben Revere struck out on a nasty slider in the dirt by Julio Teheran, first time up. Ben Revere was born in Atlanta. Went to high school in Lexington, Kentucky, and a two-time player of the year there. Ben Revere for Drew Storn. We hope it works out great for both teams.
Drew Storn, the 8th inning guy for the Blue Jays as the season starts. And we wish him nothing but the best. He was a great Nat.
I'll tell you, how about the firepower that Toronto ball club has? Troy Tulowitzki for a whole year. The reigning MVP over there, Josh Donaldson. 3-1.
Well, if they do what they're supposed to do and the Nats have a fantastic season, I have to get my passport renewed because it's expired.
Yeah, I'm not too upset we're not playing the Blue Jays in the regular season this year. And Rivera, tapper to third. Garcia from near the line. He buried the throw, but he gave Freddie Freeman a long enough hop to be able to grab it. Well, that speed puts some pressure on, doesn't it?
Okay, I'm going to show you. I was talking about a balk move by Julio Teheran and why Anthony Rendon got picked off. Everybody focus on Teheran's front leg. Look at his front leg. Did you see a buckle right there? That's what Anthony Rendon's looking at. When a pitcher's left leg moves first, watch his front leg if you can see around his back leg. Watch the knee buckle. Real quick, did you see how subtle it was? If I'm looking down there, I'm keying on his front leg. If it buckles, I'm going. That's what he saw. It's a balk move. If guys do it quick enough, they can get away with it. Some guys feel like the gamble is good enough to try, even if they do call a balk. So what's the worst thing that happens right there? He balks. He walks Bryce Harper with first base open. Rendon goes to second. So he was taking that risk right there, and it paid off for him. We'll keep an eye on it again if somebody gets on for the Nats.
1-1 to Rendon, who bounced a solid single up the middle first time up.
I was going to draw on his leg, but I stink with that telestrator, so I just let you look at it for yourself. Hope you saw it, because it was there.
Breaking ball, and it's a laser at Garcia. Nats have been a couple of unlucky line drive swingers. Espinosa on the infield last inning, and Rendon 2 outs now. From the dugout view, Dan has more on the supposed balk.
Bob, when Anthony Rendon got back to the dugout after getting picked off on that close balk call, not only were guys consoling him about that and telling him that it was a balk, but Dusty Baker gave him a fist pound and a little bit of a, that's all right, let's go, encouraging his guys to stay aggressive on the bases even after getting picked off.
See, that's what you want to hear from your skipper. You know why? That leads to a fearless mindset as a base runner. If you know if I get picked off or I get thrown out and I come back to the dugout and my manager pats me on the butt, now I know that I don't have to worry about it anymore, and I can be aggressive out there and not worry about him getting mad at me when I get back. That's good stuff, Dan.
That's what Dusty Baker's all about. You know, some managers you'll walk by, they won't say a word to you
right
after something like that.
And that makes me not want to take a chance on the bases because I'm getting that stink eye from him when I get back to the dugout. And then maybe even sitting next to him the next day.
1-1 to Bryce. Great take. We saw him do that so many times last year when he walked 124 times.
Keep flirting with that inside the plate, though. You're gonna get hurt. Pretty big power zone from last year.
Yeah. If you miss the power zone, it's just about out of the strike zone. 3-1.
Yeah, this is a pitch around. I'd be shocked if he throws a strike here unless it's just a nasty changeup.
And Bryce did a great job in situations like this last year, not getting himself out.
Right.
The guy's going to walk him. He would take it. Mercedes tracking the at-bat. And that one was the furthest one inside. So Bryce on base for the second time. And all right, here's what we talked about all spring with Ryan Zimmerman. Second walk by Teheran. 55 pitches with 2 outs in the third inning. Max Scherzer, by the way, is through 30 pitches in his 2 innings.
And the Braves' middle relief is not good, and there's no other way to put it. And the way to beat this team consistently is to run their starters' pitch counts up, get in that middle bullpen.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a tough time if that happens. There's a lot of inexperience down there.
They have one left-hander, Eric O'Flaherty, who I was told this morning is nowhere near as good as he was a couple of years ago before he got hurt. There's a big power zone for you. Wow. And then they have a right-hander, John Gant, who's kind of herky-jerky, and they think he can get some left-handers out. Their closer, Jason Grilli. Little bit of a lean for Bryce, and he got back.
So quick. I feel like he's going to shut the running game down today. Just with that move he has, everybody's aware of it. Had tons of pickoffs last year. I believe he led all right-handers in pickoffs in 2015. And so what does it make you do? It makes you shorten up your lead. And you're thinking back toward first more than you are steal second.
Turner Field, Atlanta. 20th and final year of this ballpark. Bob FP and Dan, home run matchup so far. Harper and Freeman. I mean, they're just staying away from Ryan Zimmerman too.
Well, that's fine, because I think one of his strengths is right center field. If you want to throw him fastballs out there, he'll get on top of it and drive it in a gap. I think you're doing him a favor if you pitch him away.
Two-one. That is a swing. Jerry Meals ringing up Ryan for strike two.
Looked like he went first time.
Harper at first base, 2 outs, top of the third in a tie game. Zimmerman got a breaking ball, left side Ibar to Jace Peterson. Nats gone in the top of the third. They've stranded 3 base runners. Max Scherzer back to work in Atlanta. Beautiful day for opening day.
Light.
1-1 ball game. Bryce Harper, 2-out homer first inning. Freddie Freeman, 2-out homer first inning. Opening week is upon us. Thursday, 4:05, Nats Marlins. And then it continues when the Braves come to town next week. Visit Nationals.com. Purchase your tickets. Check out the promotions. Check out the giveaways. Hop into the fan forum. Express your opinion. Whatever you want. Baseball waiting for you at Nationals.com. That was Max Scherzer's 31st pitch, 21st strike. Jace Peterson, the second baseman, came over from San Diego last year and hit .239 here. Hit hard to center. So now a Braves hitter is unlucky on a line drive. That'll bring in Tehran, then Ender Inciarte. Julio Tehran. 5 hits last year. He's a .155 career hitter with 8 RBIs.
Kind of get the feeling that this is where Max Scherzer starts to get into his rhythm, gets in that groove.
On the infield, Daniel Murphy. Couple of quick outs. The way you like them at the bottom of the lineup. And when you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. It's brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you. And we look at Trey Turner, who is not on the ball club right now, but he will be at points this year. So that's what he did when he was at the AAA level with the Syracuse Chiefs.
We'll see him this year.
Top of the order, Inciarte, the hitter. Routine fly ball to Ben Revere to start the game. And Max drops the breaking ball in for a get-ahead strike. And there's the heater.
How about if you're a Braves starter today? Hey, you got Max Scherzer opening day. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, then who do we have Wednesday?
Well, 4 o'clock start. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So my first at-bat's the only at-bat I'm going to see the baseball because of the shadows. That's great. I mean, really, the way they're creeping,
Yeah.
it's going to be tough to see rotation, tough to see off speed here for a good 3 or 4 innings. I think you still got a chance right now because the ball's going to be bright all the way until the end. So you can pick up rotation for about, what, the 50 feet or so that you see sun there?
2-2 pitch.
But where it goes late in the shadows, it'll be tough with your hand-eye coordination to get barreled to the ball.
Two-two. Scherzer today makes his 232nd career start. 105 big league wins. Took a little bit off, and Inciarte able to follow.
Sure, the Diamondbacks wish they still had Ender Inciarte after what happened to A.J. Pollock.
What a tough injury, huh? 3-2 with 2 outs. And a walk on an off-speed pitch. Last 5 seasons brought to you by Jeep, and you can see that the Nats have not won fewer than 80 games in the last 5 years.
First time they've ever been over 80
Yeah.
80 or over for 5 years in a row.
Saw a couple years we were over 50.
That's probably fun.
66 one year, 72 one year. It's all right. Distant memories now of building a brand new franchise.
And building it the right way so you'd be good for a long time and
Well,
not just a short time.
You know, and with all due respect to what the Expos did, I mean, they just didn't have the money to put into a minor league system that could compete. You know, Larry Walker, Pedro Martinez, the list goes on and on, FP,
Well,
of the great players they brought up, and then they had to
Well, I have to
let 'em
disagree
go.
with you. They had the best minor league system in baseball for many, many years. They just couldn't keep them at the big league level.
Yeah.
They were stacked
That's what I'm saying. They didn't have the revenue
to
to
keep
pay those guys.
once they
Yeah, you're right.
became stars.
Oh, 1. You know, and MLB had to eventually take over the ball club. Nissan pitch track. Maybe a seam got the upper corner.
Take it.
Oh, 2. You know who on deck. You want the inning to end right here. And it will. Max grabs it. And that's it for the Braves in the bottom of the 3rd. 1-1 ball game. Daniel Murphy walked his first time up as an Nat. He'll lead off from Atlantic in a moment. RAV4 Hybrid. All-wheel drive. Unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com today.
I didn't know there was hills here.
That's Stone Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
This unbelievable thing that sticks out of the ground, what, about 30 miles northeast of here?
That's what most mountains do, Bob.
I mean, but it sticks out of nowhere.
Oh, all right.
It comes out of nowhere. In fact, it's interesting. There is a golf course that we frequent now and then here.
No.
I think it's 40 miles from Stone Mountain, and part of the golf course has the rock of Stone Mountain as part of the terrain. That's how big that thing is. It's unbelievable.
Is that your golf cart they just showed?
It should be. Going up for one of my lies. So we go top 4. Stone Mountain, Georgia. Two and 0.
I Google it every time we're here, but Turner Field has elevation.
Yeah. It was the launching pad before Coors Field. Murphy launches one to center. Inciarte back. Gone. Daniel Murphy first as a Nat. 2-1 Washington.
Well, Turner Field's at 1,050 feet elevation behind Coors Field and Chase Field. I don't think it had anything to do with Daniel Murphy's first home run as a Nat. Jose Lobaton, the helmet taker offer guy, and welcome to the Nationals, Daniel Murphy.
A walk and a home run his first 2 at bats. Murphy's 63rd career home run. Those 14 he hit with the Mets last year, a career high. His previous was 13 back in 13. And Worth will hit a fly ball to center that'll bring Inciarte in. First out, top of the 4th.
I asked him before the game in the clubhouse, I said, you ready? He said, I have no other choice. The at-bats are coming fast and furious. The season is starting. I better be ready. And I think you can check that box with Daniel Murphy. This guy's always ready. Look at the foot down early, fastball right down the heart of the plate. And he said, I'm looking for a pitch right down the middle. I want to get off my ace swing. So you can check that box too. Daniel Murphy with his first home run as a Nat, 2-1. Pretty swing. We saw that a few times in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, that wasn't far from the location. He hit one at Nationals Park the other day in a foul ball right below us by Wilson Ramos. We saw that pop by Murphy at Nationals Park when he put one in the red seats over the weekend. That was in the first inning of Saturday's game. Ramos rams one to left. And playing so deep was Oliveira, had no chance. Respecting Wilson's power. 2 well hit balls here in the 4th inning.
Well, Oliveira's an infielder converted to outfield and kind of learning as he goes. I think a more seasoned left fielder has plenty of time to come in and catch this line drive off the bat of Wilson Ramos, but the Buffalo will take it, his first knock of the year, with a little help.
4 base hits for the ball club in the first 4 innings. Danny Espinosa hit the ball extremely hard. Line drive at Eric Ibar, the shortstop, first time.
I'm looking at Wilson at first base. He's definitely not going to get picked off. It's not, it's not going to happen.
It'll take the hidden ball trick by Freddie Freeman.
He almost has 1 foot on the bag with the Williamsport leadoff. He's close.
Oh, that's way out there for him right now. Espinosa, one hopper to short, had some spin on it, and the Braves turned the 6-4-3. They led the major leagues in double plays last year. They've got a new infield, at least the left side. And it was Ibar to Peterson to Freeman. That'll do it for the Nats in the top of the 4th, but not before Daniel Murphy put him on top, 2-1.
Benefits of that, well, it keeps your head still and allows you to make good decisions on pitches. Look at where his foot is, how still his head. It's a frozen head, and to throw the bat barrel out in front, 400 whatever feet away. Technically perfect. And he says right here, that was good right there. Yes, it was, Daniel Murphy. Real good. And the old school flip downs.
Yeah.
You'd think Daniel Murphy would wear flip downs, right? He's old school.
Love him. And he's communicating with Bryce Harper right now. He's going to go out into right field because Freddie Freeman leads off. The shift is on. And the Braves fans buzzing a bit in anticipation of their slugger starting things off.
So fastball, belt high, 96 on the home run after he blew a 95 and a 96 by Freddie Freeman first time up.
There was a bit of a pause there because the Nationals have a new center fielder. Inside and low to Freddie Freeman from Scherzer. Michael A. Taylor into the game here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Going soft and missing away, 2-1.
Yeah, 3 and 4 were both fastballs, as was 5. I mean, he threw it in the same spot. Same thing happening right here. Maybe the shadow's helping Max a little bit, but that was 96. Probably in the same spot we just showed you for the home run. Maybe Freddie Freeman thinking he's not going to throw me that pitch again. He did.
Down and in for the strikeout. Max Scherzer, third K of the day. It's the one guy in this lineup who can really hurt you.
So I want to show you the home run to Freddie Freeman and why Max Scherzer threw this pitch. First inning, here's the last 3 pitches. There's 95. There's 96 by him, right? What else would you throw him? You just blew 2 heaters by Freddie Freeman, so that one was 96, maybe even in a better location, but good hitters adjust. Freddie Freeman said, you know what? He's got to throw it again. He's blown 2 by me. Started his swing early and caught her out front. This time, Scherzer goes to the slider after the fastball and gets Freeman swinging. The cat and mouse game between a great pitcher and a great hitter. Love it.
Here's Adonis Garcia. Bouncing ball to Espinosa first time. Well, how big is a 1-run lead behind Max Scherzer with the shadows creeping? Pretty big. 0-2.
Good point. Real good point.
Shadows from the light standard, left field side, just reaching the mound. 0-2. Breaking ball, and that's well hit to left. Worth going back, and this game is tied. Max hung one a little bit up in the zone, and Adonis Garcia, who hit 10 here last year, gets the Braves back even. All right, now whoever scores the next run has a big advantage. Mercedes-Benz will locate it.
All right, slider at 87, and Garcia went out and pulled this pitch. It was breaking away from him. So pretty good plate coverage right there. Barrels it up, and on a warm day game here at Turner Field, the ball's flying.
Yeah, it's playing like a June game here. There's Nick Markakis. And Max drops that breaking ball in for a strike. And another. Quite a ball game here to start things off. Nobody in baseball, though, having as much fun as the Giants right now. 12-3 opening day at Milwaukee.
I wonder how Span Francisco's doing.
Denard Span Francisco.
Check.
Markakis fouled out to Rendon first time. 2-2 pitch with 1 out. Got him. 96. 2 Ks in the inning, 4 in the game for Max. And next up is the, as Pete mentioned, converted outfielder, Hector Olivera.
Denard's 2 for 4 with 5 RBI.
5 RBIs?
Yeah, there's got to be a home run.
Wow. Well, good for him, because there was some talk over the winter that he might not be ready to play until at least May.
I'm pretty sure he's ready.
Yeah, it looks like he's ready.
5 RBI. That's not what you think of when you think of Denard Span. You think of 5 runs scored, but not 5 RBI.
And Jim Powell, the radio guy for the Braves, who used to work in Milwaukee, told me it was 38 degrees there today, so they were happy to close the roof and have opening day. Not too happy now.
3-run homer for Span.
How about that? Yankees have been rained out already. Same thing happened in Cleveland.
It's freezing here. I think it dropped to 72.
Scherzer catching corners, throwing strike after strike now. And late for the heater. Olivera hit 309 times in his career in Cuba. 353, 07-08, 346 in the 08-09 season. And a 1-2 count. Low and away.
This swing is dead on Julio Franco, by the way. Not the stance, but the swing. Get his hands a little bit higher and had that bat cocked towards Scherzer. Same body. Pretty good pitch. Max with a long look in there. I think he wanted it. What does Pitch Track think about it? Pretty good pitch.
Three 2 count. 2 outs. Bottom 4, 2-2 game. All the runs on solo homers. And a breaking ball gets the pop up to the right side. Ryan Zimmerman fighting the sun. Murphy nearby to help, and Ryan's got it. Freeman and Garcia for them. Harper and Murphy for your Nats.
As we head to the end of the 4th inning, or the bottom of the 4th inning, come out to Nats Park Saturday, April 9th, the Nats take on the Marlins. First 20,000 fans ages 21 and up. You receive a Nationals t-shirt presented by Budweiser. One pursuit on the back, or around the front maybe, and Budweiser on the back. Visit nationals.com to purchase your tickets today.
The famous bow tie logo of the King of Beers.
I feel like I'll have that pursuit after the game, and that'll be my one pursuit.
Well, let's hope it's toasting a win. Here's Max, who had a good at bat first time. Fouled off a couple of pitches before Tehran got him, finishing the second. Generous. Strike 2.
Max is thinking, I'll take that.
And he's gotten 1 or 2 of those. That one was hanging around the inside corner. Maybe backed up a little bit, still got the call. And for Julio Tehran, strikeout number 4. Well, we don't know what happened to Ben Revere. For those of you new to Nationals baseball, and maybe our TV games are on MASN, the Nationals do not disclose injury information during a game. So we don't know why Ben Revere was taken out and Michael A. Taylor put in center field. Here's his first at bat. Michael hit just .229 last year, but he did some damage. 14 homers, 63 RBIs in 138 games, but 158 strikeouts need to be cut down. That was a strikeout about 30% of the time. Ooh, he just got under that one out to left for Oliveira. 2 outs here in the 5th. Rendon next. Looking to the north, downtown Atlanta. Brilliant skyline, brilliant day here. Braves will be in the northern suburbs next year.
Rendon's hit 2 balls right on the screw so far.
Yeah, SunTrust Field will be the name of their new ballpark.
What did this place age in dog years? It's only 20 years old.
20 years.
Not bad yard.
Well, the whole new stadium thing has been a story around here filled with intrigue. Won't get into it with 2 outs here, but the Braves, in a nutshell, really surprised the city of Atlanta by the time they were laughed out of the mayor's office here. We'll get into it a little more as we go along, but it's a very interesting story. Outside, 1-2. Anthony Rendon, a base hit and a hard line drive to third. This one in the air to center. Scampering back Inciarte. And for the second time today, the Nats go 1-2-3. Halfway through the ball game on opening day, 2-2.
Two-Out telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals.
Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones. They're doing that tear the number off thing here. Counting down the home games remaining at Turner Field. Chipper and Andrew. Wow. Third base, center field. Unbelievable teams, FP, they had here. You played against a lot of those guys.
This was a ballpark. If you left 1 for 15 in the series, you were feeling pretty good about yourself. Well, you didn't beat yourself up. Let's just put it that way, because you faced some pretty good pitchers.
Max Scherzer gets a little pop fly off the bat of A.J. Pierzynski. Rendon handles it. 1 pitch out.
Who gets 1 is what I want to know. Who gets to tear down the number 1? Who's the last guy?
I got to go Hank Aaron. Even though Henry never played in this park.
I would say 6 has to be Bobby Cox, right?
6 for, yeah, number 6. Dale Murphy's going to be one of the last guys you would think. Maybe Phil Niekro. I mean, if Chipper did 80.
Right.
What's left?
I know. Oh my gosh. Well, they got opening day.
Yeah, that's true.
And Andrew.
Yeah, I got to go with Hammer and Hank.
Good call.
For number 1. 1-0. Although he could do 44 too. You know.
There'll be 12,000 fans that'll go nuts. I would imagine it'll be packed that day.
This is Jace Peterson. Lined out to Ben Revere in center first time up. Michael A. Taylor out there now. And by the way, for those of you at home, our producer Chip Winfield told us in between innings that Ben Revere's ground ball 5-3 back in the 3rd inning, they rolled it replay a couple of times. They couldn't see anything in the replay that might have happened to Ben on his way down to first base. They're searching the at bat. He did go out and play the field after that because that was in the top of the 3rd.
It's a pretty good alternative, though.
Oh yeah. One ball and 2 strikes to Peterson.
You know, I was watching him in batting practice today, and he was reaching. He was coming out and reaching for his side after every round in batting practice, and I thought that was kind of weird. He was standing by the cage. Kind of stretching after every round, and I thought, oh, don't be the oblique.
Please no.
And sometimes that's where you can hurt it, and the guys are telling me they got something after a foul ball that kind of proves that theory. Watch where he grabs after this. Yeah, right to the side, a little tight maybe. You don't mess with those things. If you feel that a little bit, that can turn into a month or so.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning.
Are you smelling what I'm smelling? Is it one of those burgerizas or whatever they have here? The pepperoni pizza with the cheeseburger patty in the middle of 2 pepperoni pizzas? I think I'm smelling that right now.
Don't bring one up here.
No, I don't want one of those.
We don't need the broadcast team in a food coma.
No.
In the middle of the game on opening day.
Or just bring defibrillators with it. Bring the paddles.
Tough at bat by the number 8 man here, Jace Peterson. Won't get a walk out of it. Max will strike him out for number 5 on the day. With Tehran coming up next.
Challenge fastball 95, pretty much right down the middle. And Peterson with a big swing for a little guy and a 2-strike count. It's a big way the game has changed too. Even the smaller stature guys with 2 strikes don't put the ball in play. They still take 3-1 hacks with 2 strikes.
Yeah. Tehran pop up to Daniel Murphy first time. Choppy swing and a nasty breaking ball. And a slider. 1, 2, 3 for Max, bottom 5. We like our do-ups. It'll be Bryce Harper, followed by Ryan Zimmerman and Daniel Murphy. Top 6 coming up.
Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Arlington. Visit them at www.justmercedes.com. 2-2 as we have the top of the 6. You want to see some homers? We're going to show you some homers in order, folks. First inning, Bryce Harper gone. His first of what we're thinking is going to be $1 million this year. Freddie Freeman. The Nat Killer doing his thing. I wonder if Ben Revere heard himself jumping for that ball. I don't know. I'm not supposed to speculate, so I'm not gonna. And then Daniel Murphy, welcome to the Nats. Straightaway center Tater. That felt good. And Adonis Garcia joins the party. So 4 home runs so far. Forget walks and bunts and hit and runs and getting them over, getting them in. Guys are driving themselves in here at Turner Field today.
2 Nats have been on base twice, Bryce Harper and Daniel Murphy, each with a home run and a walk.
Tie game in the 6th. This is where you're up against it if you're Julio Tehran. Do you walk the leadoff hitter, or do you pitch to a guy that already took you deep and is the reigning MVP? What do you do here? 0-2 him, meaning every pitch is like an 0-2 pitch. Try to make your best pitch, bounce it, make it look like a strike. 1-0 changeup. I personally don't pitch to him. I mean, he might get him out, but just saying.
Agreed.
He's gonna sit on something. Oh.
You know, and your point is well taken, because and Ryan Zimmerman can explode any moment, but Tehran has had Ryan hit the ball on the ground twice today.
I just missed that.
And you can tell sometimes, because hitters will step out and take an extended thought before they get back in there. So here's a 1-2 pitch with nobody out. Fastball well outside. 250 to the Children's National Health System every time Annette hits a home run from our Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
I don't think he sees a fastball for a strike here. If I'm Bryce, which, yeah, that's funny. But I'm sitting 3-2 changeup right here, all the way.
He got a breaking ball, and he just rolls it down to Freddie Freeman.
And I can't explain how hard it is for a hitter to get off the fastball, meaning think soft, think he's going to throw me off speed, because you flip-flop at night when you let a fastball go right down the middle. And Bryce Harper is such a good fastball hitter, but really, how many fastballs down the middle is he going to see in 162 games?
Yeah.
Not many. So I think the evolution of Bryce as an MVP and as one of the best players in baseball is he's learned to think backwards and sit on pitches in fastball counts. But it's not easy to do. It's a mindset that just goes against everything you've been taught and learned your whole life as a hitter. You've learned how to sit on number one and hit number one, but he's rarely going to get one with any kind of plate. He's going to get show me fastballs off the plate, show me fastballs away, fastballs up, but rarely is he going to get one down the heart.
Ryan has bounced to short. Error was made. Another bounce to short was a force play. But Teheran almost to 90 pitches here with 1 out, 6th inning. Breaking ball, and he bangs it up the middle. Zimmerman staying back and hitting it hard. 1 for 3 on the first day of the season.
A nice piece of hitting right there, staying through the baseball. He's a little bit fooled, but he kept his hands back and then just stayed through it up the middle. Not really fooled at all. I checked that. I mean, he was just almost like he was sitting on that slider from Teheran, just right up the middle. Good extension, nice swing.
Our first shot in center field, I saw a little knuckling action. That ball had no spin on it when it came off Ryan's bat, so he got it. Here's Murphy, home run just to the left of the 400 mark in center last time up. And that's a good stop by Pierzynski to keep the lead front from getting into scoring position.
He's thinking, what's he going to throw me here? 1-0.
So Teheran, who threw 30 pitches in the first inning, is at 90 here in the 6th. Another one skips in there. Zimmerman reads it. He's into second without a play.
A great read by Ryan Zimmerman. Doesn't get enough credit for his intelligence on the base pass. One of the best base runners, I think, definitely on the Nats. But that's just anticipation. He knows that Murphy hit a ball out on a fastball last time. He's probably thinking in his lead, he's not going to get a heater right here in a 1-0 count. I'm looking for something soft, and I'm looking for it in the dirt. He got it. He broke as soon as it hit the dirt. It was easily into second base. Those plays over 162 games add up. I can't tell you how much difference those make in wins and losses. Little things like that.
Target away on a 2-0 count here. That was off speed. Daniel took it. Inside the numbers from PNC for the Achiever in you. Top 4 in the National League in innings the last 3 years. 186, 221, and 201.
Same scenario. I'd be shocked if Murphy gets anything to hit. He's handled Jason Worth so far in this game. First base open, 1 out. Look how far off the plate Pierzynski's setting up right here.
Slider low.
I think that surprised Daniel Murphy. Little spinning slider at 83, 3-1.
Big gap in right center. Murphy a doubles machine when he's going well. Target moves in, and that almost hit him. You might have heard Daniel. He was reacting before the ball got there. He thought that one was going to get him.
I think he said, "Aye." Take a listen. Sometimes you yell because you think it's going to hit you.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't hit you.
And for more on the conditions on a Sunday afternoon here at Turner Field, here's Dan.
Yeah, Bob, you guys were speculating about the tough hitting conditions, and it looks like there are a lot of guys kind of struggling with whether to go with sunglasses or not. Michael A. Taylor had him on when he was walking out into the on-deck circle, turned around, tossed him to Rick Shue, and Jason Worth did the same thing, had the shades on when walking out into the on-deck circle, kind of took them off, testing it out, ended up tossing his as well. You've got the sun behind them, the mound right now in the shade, then that little brief bit of sun that's coming in from the top deck, those windows up there. So guys are kind of struggling in between whether to go with the sunglasses or without. A little tough vision out there for these batters.
Shadows into the outfield and left field, that right field, right center, a really tough sun field now. At 5:51 local time, here's Jason Worth. Swinging strikeout, fly ball to center. 5 career hits, 3 RBIs against Julio Teheran. Braves bullpen, one of the guys who will be starting for them soon, Daniel Winkler. By the way, Gio was on the lineup card today in terms of being available in the Nationals bullpen from the left side, along with Felipe Rivero and Oliver Perez. Days off coming. Some teams don't need 5 starters right now. That's why the Braves have Winkler available. And Jason needs to put the ball in play here.
Well, you just don't want to put it in play, and the inning's over. Double play. He's thinking protect. They're going to go over it. Teheran's throwing the fastball pretty much up in the zone to Worth all day.
So the Nats box Michael A. Taylor now in center field 0 for 1. Revere was 0 for 2 left. Unspecified reasons. Harper, Murphy. Rendon a hit, Zimmerman a hit, Ramos a base hit. Jason Worth takes it up and away. Mercedes will track it.
Pretty close. Maybe top of the zone. No, it looked like it might have hit the corner. I'll tell you what, he's got the whole right side of the infield. Peterson playing him right up the middle.
Worth, little fly ball to right and into the sun. Nick Markakis handles that. 2 outs. That'll bring in Wilson Ramos, base hit last time. And this time Hector Oliveira is not playing him as deep as he was when that line drive fell in front.
Well, he's got to cheat in to throw out Ryan Zimmerman at the plate with 2 outs. Inciarte probably has the best arm out there. Nick Markakis no slouching right either. He can throw too.
Yeah, Bo Porter giving all kind of signals from the first base dugout, positioning his outfielders. So Ramos has pulled it twice, once a grounder to third and a line drive to left. A 2-2 ball game. Nats have out hit the Braves 5-2. Top 6, 2 on, 2 out. Woo. Wilson Ramos had 1 to work with. 2 straight foul balls off the screen, caught on the fly by A.J. Pierzynski.
And Teheran knows that Ramos was on that fastball. He might try to expand with the slider down and away, make it look like a strikeout in the outer half, and try to break it off the plate in the dirt and trust his catcher to stop it.
Big pitch in this game. Ramos high in the air, right field. Nick Markakis fighting the sun, and the Nats have now stranded 5 base runners today. Tie ball game after 5.5.
Pretty good. There's no way he could do that again, right?
Nah.
October 3rd, 17 strikeouts, set a franchise record, career high. Tied Nolan Ryan for the most strikeouts at a no-hitter. One of the most dominant games I've ever seen. That one's going to be tough to top.
Both against playoff teams.
Both a ground ball to third from a perfect game, I believe.
Yeah.
And a hit batter in Jose Tabata from a perfect game. That's how dominant those no-hitters were.
And then, of course, before either of those, the near miss in Milwaukee.
Yeah, there wasn't one hard hit ball that day in Milwaukee. Not one. Now, usually in a no-hitter, you'll see a line out, a great play. I think there was a number of them in the Pittsburgh game. But that day game in Milwaukee, I think there was a soft blooper to second. Might have been the hardest hit ball the whole day.
Inciarte, top of the order, bottom of the sixth. Offering to bunt. Rendon charging from third. Strike one.
That's a good idea.
He has 40 big league stolen bases in just under 2 years in the big leagues. Only 25 years of age. In the air, in the shade, and in the glove of Danny Espinosa. Let's do some yoga in the outfield. It returns this year following the Nats Marlins game Sunday, May 15th. It's not a stretch to say this will be the biggest and best yoga in the outfield ever.
So bad.
They write them, I read them.
Seriously.
Visit nationals.com/yoga.
They should have yogurt in the outfield. That'd be way better. Just like cover the whole outfield in yogurt.
Yeah.
Matt Thornton watching this one?
Really? Wow. Eric Ibar, a couple of ground balls, 0 for 2. Hot shot, 1 for 3. And that's in front of Freddie Freeman here in the sixth. That's the Braves' first base hit that has not been a homer.
One of the fastest infields in the National League here at Turner Field. They cut the Bermuda so short. I mean, ball gets on you. Ryan Zimmerman thought he should have had it, but watch how quick this ball gets through the infield. It's almost like playing on a grass-covered parking lot. It's well manicured. There's not a lot of bad hops. They water it between innings. But the ball flies through this infield.
Well, I know Johnny and Ray talk a lot about defining moments when they do their Nats Extra post-game show. This could be one for Max Scherzer here against Freeman with a runner aboard, 1 out, tie game. Late innings upon us.
And all of a sudden, Freeman has a little protection in the on-deck circle because Garcia homered his last time up.
Scherzer loves to hold. He loves to pause and freeze base runners. And you knew Freddie Freeman would ask for time from Jerry Meals. He got jammed. And that's Anthony Rendon at short. Danny Espinosa was not in his shortstop position. He was up the middle. That's a huge out for number 2 here in the 6th inning at the 6 o'clock hour. BCFP DK on Masson 2. Right now it's 2-2 Nats Braves, bottom 6 with Adonis Garcia coming up. Challenge fastball, strike 1.
Big swing.
Fishing on the slider. First final of the day is in from Milwaukee. Giants 12-3 over the Brewers.
expand away with another slider off of that one. See what they do here.
He goes out there with the heater. Adonis Garcia from Cuba, 309 in an 11-year career there. He had 10 in 58 games here when he got called up last year to Atlanta. 1-2 pitch.
I talked to Mike Maddox before the game. He said probably 100 pitches for Scherzer, but he very intelligently said it depends what kind of 100 pitches it was. Do you have to work hard to get out of jams? Is he on cruise control?
Started this inning at 79, blows it by Garcia, and that's it for the Braves in the bottom of the 6th. Espinosa, Scherzer, Taylor coming up. Quite a ball game on opening day, 2-2. Opening day baseball. Geico highlights 2-2 ball game. Top of the 7th, Scherzer will hit after Espinosa. And before Michael A. Taylor, the Nats are into the Braves bullpen. And it'll be 26-year-old Dan Winkler. They got him from the Rockies in the Rule 5 draft a year ago December. Just 2 games here last year at the big league level.
A fastball slider change will cut the fastball. But his fastball in 2015 averaged 89 miles an hour.
He's coming off Tommy John surgery. Originally drafted by the Cubs, didn't sign. Rockies signed him. Top of the 7th, Danny Espinosa. A couple of balls to shortstop. One a line drive. The other a ground ball turned into a 6-4-3. And down at third base, Chris Conroy says he went around.
Good idea. I like it.
Yeah, in front of the pitcher, number 8 hitter in the National League. Now it's 0-2 and the battle begins. That was breaking right in on his hands.
So not a bad outing by Teheran. 6 innings, 5 hits, walked 3, struck out 4. A couple of homers, 102 pitches, 63 for strikes.
Get a batter, wild pitch, a double play ball. 2 home runs given up and a pickoff, and Danny Espinosa gone. Leading off the 7th. Max Scherzer is at 88 pitches through 6.
The Peanuts are back. No way. They're back in action for the 2016 season with opening day April 14th. Games are running through the 20th. For all your ticket and promotional information, call 703-590-2311 or go to the website.
PotomacNationals.com. Max Scherzer, a couple of strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 called.
This is where Max Scherzer usually says, I'm getting on and I'm going to score the winning run. This is where he goes like straight Little League mode where I'm going to win the game myself offensively. We saw him do it a bunch of times last year.
He was guessing.
Well, I think they're seeing it. I'm reading swings right now.
Yeah, that's true.
It might be the hardest time to hit just because that backdrop, the dimension of it with the sunlight and the shades. This is when you usually take BP and guys are complaining about not seeing. Imagine trying to hit 92.
Yeah. Couple of Ks to start the 7th. Our next 5, and most of them at home Wednesday. Steven Strasburg will be on the mound for the Nats. Bud Norris for the Braves. Home opener, 4 o'clock. WUSA 9 joins us Thursday, off day Friday. 2 more with the Fish, and then the Braves will be in our ballpark next Monday. Stephen Strasburg, what a second half. It's his free agent year. Looking for big things. Oh, and 2 to Michael A. Taylor. And that's a 1-2-3 inning, all strikeouts by Daniel Winkler. You can see why they can't wait for him to do some starting. Baseball on Masson, brought to you by American Standard Heating and Air. It's their All-Star Sales event with up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. You can see the Atlanta skyline from Stone Mountain.
We're really digging Stone Mountain today, aren't we?
We sent a crew to Stone Mountain, and we're going to show it.
Yeah, we're going to show you Stone Mountain until you feel like you're there.
All right, 2-2 ball game, bottom of the 7th coming up, and here's Dan with our Coons.com sideline report.
Bob, Max Scherzer out for another inning of work, and the Nationals have set how the rest of their rotation will go the rest of this week. It'll be Tanner Roark who will get the start in the home opener on Thursday. Joe Ross will follow him following the off day on Friday, so it'll be Roark Thursday, Ross on Saturday. Then we'll see Scherzer again on 5 days rest. And after that, Gio Gonzalez will get his first start of the 2016 season. That'll be a week from today. So it'll go Roark, Ross, Scherzer, Gio, and then Strasburg again. Gio slotted in between the 2 hard-throwing righties. Dusty Baker's saying that he wanted to go with the guys who might go a little deeper into games, Scherzer and Strasburg, around Gio, who has a tendency to, maybe go 5-6 on occasion to help out that bullpen a little bit in case they get taxed early on in the season.
Very interesting. And over 2 million vehicles sold and counting at Coons, as Dan brings us our sideline report. Max Scherzer, 88 pitches, 61 strikes through 6. He'll face Markakis, Oliveira, and Pierzynski. Seven Ks on the day.
Well, let's see all 7, or at least some. Max Scherzer, I think the slider's been his best pitch all day. Fastball's been ramped up. He's getting to the 94, 95, 96 range right now. And at his pitch count, this is where you usually see him empty the tank. You're going to see a lot of 95s, 96s this inning. He's not going to leave anything out there.
Toyota Case for Kids is back. Washington area Toyota dealers helping children and their families. A donation of $37 for every strikeout to the Children's Inn of the National Institutes of Health. Markakis 0 for 2. And so are the next 2 hitters.
Remember, Markakis last year had that offseason or that early season back surgery, and he never really had the pop that he's had in the past. He had a chance to really get in the weight room. He put on a lot of weight. He's staying on top of the plate, looking to pull more this year.
Yeah, you see Nick Markakis hitting 3 home runs in a season. You know something's not right. In his Baltimore career, he always averaged 15 to 18 per year. Right side tapper foul.
He had a rough spring, hit 182 in the Grapefruit League with only 1 extra base hit. Braves said they're not worried. They just like the fact that he's healthy. He had a chance to get strong again. And he's saying he feels great.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Almost made it to 400 consecutive games without an error before he made one in the first inning of the Braves at the Nats on June 25th.
Double barrels.
Sean Kelly joining Oliver Perez.
Yeah, that might be the 7th inning matchup you see. 8th inning might be Felipe Rivero and Blake Trinan. And that's all with a save situation and lead to get the Jonathan Papelbon in the 9th.
2-2 pitch. Markakis against Scherzer, career 5 for 21.
A big pitch coming right here. I mean, he's given up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 home runs. I don't really think he's made a mistake today. The pitch to Freddie Freeman is exactly what he should have thrown. And the pitch to Garcia was a slider that was breaking away from him that he pulled.
Oh, he misses. Leadoff walk. First time the Braves have had a walk since the 3rd inning. And the lead runs aboard with right-handed hitting. Hector Oliveira coming up.
Look at Mike Maddox. He's going down the phone. Dusty Baker just talked to his pitching coach. So now we're all going to kind of get an idea how Dusty's going to run a bullpen. First time we're going to see him in action, and I think he's thinking, I might want to get that lefty in there for A.J. Pierzynski. We'll see.
Pierzynski was a great clutch hitter for the Braves last year.
And that has nothing to do with how Max Scherzer's pitching, because he's dealing. You just don't want to extend your horse too far on opening day. There's so many starts coming, 32, 33 more starts, whatever it is. Don't want to leave him out there too long early.
Rolls over a ground ball. Rendon. Murphy played it quickly, but there's not enough pace on that baseball to turn 2.
Murphy's saying it should be a double play. He's pointing right now at Nick Markakis. Paul Nauert is checking, and are they going to call this a double play? Here we go with the new rule. And a big point in the game, right?
And I see a batter walking toward the dugout. So 5-4-3 double play. Bases empty, 2 outs.
This is reviewable too, folks. Don't forget, if Freddie Gonzalez wants to review it, he can. The rule states the runner slides by hitting the ground before reaching the base. The runner is able and attempts to reach the base. The runner is able and attempts to stay on the base, and that's where I think this one might have went south for the Braves. Did he stay on the base, or did he go past it? The runner can't change his pathway to the base for the purpose of initiating contact. So he's reaching the base. That's good. And does he go past the base? Can we stay with it, guys? Look at how far he goes past the base, and that's where Paul Nauert got it right and called a double play. You can't go past second base this year, and that's the first time we've all seen that. And it came in a big part of this ball game. And Daniel Murphy was on it. He got up, he started arguing with Paul Nauert, and Paul Nauert called it.
Now Scherzer and Pierzynski. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's the right call. I don't like the rule, but it was the right call.
Shift on with Murphy in right field.
You've been playing the game the same way for 130 years. No one's getting hurt on that slide. You're going to call double play on it? Yeah, Max Scherzer, the Nats will take it, but it's a silly rule. It's baseball, not flag football.
Well said. So the Nationals turned their first double play.
Sort of.
Yeah, it'll go on the stat sheet.
Sorry, that's a to get off my lawn segment of the show. I just don't like that new rule or anything about it.
1-2. Pierzynski hanging tough here. Bottom of the 7th, 2-2.
So you're telling me in a day game when the field dries out, I got to really start my slide early because it's dry, and that's when you really skid on the dirt. So I got to take all this into account as a runner now?
It's a lot to consider.
Yeah.
Zimmerman on the charge, scooping to Scherzer, and 7 outstanding innings by Max. We'll see if it goes any farther. Rendon, Harper, and Zimmerman coming up.
Season-long subscription to MLB.tv Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network. So Max Scherzer, between innings, coming off the field. Dusty, I'm good. Dusty, I'm good. I can stay in this game. I can stay in this game. That's it. Good job. All right. Little handshake. And a pretty good start number 1 from Max Scherzer. Handshakes everywhere. Fist pumps. Nicely done. And he is hoping that the heart of the order could get him a run here and get him a win.
Braves further into their bullpen. Scherzer, 104 pitches, 72 strikes. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts in 7 innings. 25-year-old Arodys Vizcaino. Some of the Nats have seen him before. Anthony Rendon leads off. Rendon faces the righty for the first time. Anthony today 1 for 3 with a base hit and a line drive out to third. Gashes one to short. They were playing him to pull. Long throw, Ibar, and Freeman stayed on the bag.
His foot on the bag. Where'd he go? I think it was. Nice splits right there by Freddie Freeman. This might show it better. Yeah, way on the bag. Not even close. He liked to play. Got a big fastball. It averaged 98 miles an hour last year. And Anthony Rendon has hit the ball in the screws pretty much every time today.
Yes, he has. Bryce Harper won at bat last year against Vizcaino. It was a base on balls. Bryce put the Nats on top. Top first with a towering home run to right. Ball that probably went about 360.
I think Przinsky catches that at strike 1.
For the 8th inning, Felipe Rivero. Braves at the bottom of their order. Harper takes a fastball up.
Must see TV every time this guy hits.
No lines at the concession stands at Turner Field right now. Nissan will track strike 2.
I think he was looking away and he got fooled by the location. Everything in the sequence from Vizcaino has been, you know, I'm going to make this guy beat me with an opposite field homer in a tie game. That one might have surprised Bryce. Going out there again. 99. I think you know what you're getting. They've been all fastballs, right?
And he misses. Harper aboard. 1 out, 8th inning.
So this is the time when you could be aggressive if you're Bryce Harper on first base. We talked about he might run more this year. Right now is the time to do it if Vizcaino is delivered to the plate. I don't have split times on him yet. I'll try to get you one, but usually guys that throw in the upper 90s take their time. And we'll see if Bryce Harper has any notions about going.
Ryan Zimmerman 1 for 3, base hit up the middle last time. First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Ryan 0 for 1 career against the righty.
Looked like he was going. It's a good ball game right out of the gate. I don't know if I could take 161 more of these. A few laughers will be nice.
Just like earlier, Braves give Ryan against a right-hander. Up the middle to the left side and a big gap in left center. 0-2 and couldn't get to it. 2 down. Next up, Murphy. On base 3 times, walk in the first, homer in the 4th, hit by a pitch in the 6th. Or actually, walked in the 6th. I wrote down hit batter after he hollered. But it was a walk that was just off his belt buckle.
Well, that's called selling the call right there. If he made you put hit batter down by his scream, that's. But here's the home run. Watch the foot down early. Click. Straightaway center. Tied this game at 2. That was good right there. Yes, it was. Not quite you like that, but we'll take it on game 1 of the season. That was good right there. Yeah, a little middle away, down in the zone. Always kind of been a low ball hitter. He can go ahead and get in that zone he was in the postseason if he wants. Sure Dusty would like that.
One pitch. Murphy swinging through. A big breaker at 82. Facing Vizcaíno for the first time. Runner on the move in the dirt. Bryce Harper rips his first bag of the year.
And that's when it's valuable. You know, ideally you'd like him to get there early in the count, but he picked a good pitch. Watch Bryce Harper. This might be the Davey Lopes effect. Who knows? You know, you take off on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, it gives Przinsky a chance to throw you out. You take off on a slider that's 10 miles an hour slower, now you get an extra step. Even if Przinsky catches that, Bryce Harper had that bag ripped, and now see what they do to Daniel Murphy in a 2-2 count with a go-ahead run.
Yeah, first base open, Worth on deck. Yeah, Murphy seeing junk in the dirt. Two came, top 8. Nats looking for their first base hit since Zimmerman's single in the 6th inning. Murphy strikes out. 85 diving on him. Braves bullpen, 2 good innings so far. It stays 2-2. No decision for Scherzer. Steven Strasburg. 11-7 last year. He was amazing his last 10 starts. With a 1.90 ERA, 92 strikeouts, 8 walks. Are you kidding? Bud Norris for the Braves. Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Johnny and Ray with Nats Extra at 6:30. And it's a 2-2 ball game now into the bottom of the 8th as Felipe Rivero is about to take over. New pitcher is Rivero, coming off a rookie season, 49 games and a 2.79 ERA.
So if I asked you who the top left-handers were last year in terms of velocity, you'd say Aroldis Chapman 1. Then Jake Diekman's number 2. Zach Britton 3, and Felipe Rivero was the 4th hardest throwing lefty in baseball last year, averaging 95.4 miles an hour on his fastball. And his slider is 81 to go with it. So the Braves about to see some heat here in Atlanta.
And this looks like Gordon Beckham hitting for Jace Peterson. Beckham over from the American League. Chicago White Sox had a couple of guys come over from Chicago. Beckham, a .242 hitter in 7 years with the White Sox, and a brief stop with the Angels during that time.
97.
And then Frank Gore, who's come home to Atlanta, is on deck. 0-2. Well, that didn't take long. Finishes them off with 97. Big reaction here for the local boy come home, Jeff Francoeur.
Well, this was a thanks for coming. Oh, 3-pitch see ya, all fastballs, and that's a tough assignment for Beckham off the bench to face that. And you'd think Chipper Jones just stepped up to the plate.
Jeff Francoeur was a first rounder for the Braves back in 02. 23rd player overall taken out of Parkview High School here in Atlanta. He was a Brave till 09 until he was traded to the Mets. Free swinger, goes up hacking. He can get himself out, but if you make a mistake, he can hit it a mile.
Well, he's swinging from the time he gets to the ballpark. He's swinging. He's not a fan of the catcher catching pitches.
And Rivero moves him back with 97. Francoeur, .261 career hitter, 153 home runs. Had a good year with the Phillies last year. Part-time action, 45 RBIs, 13 homers. And Felipe turns one over on him.
Yeah, pitch he worked on all spring training. He used to be pretty much fastball slider last year, but he implemented the changeup. And with guys sitting on 97, 98, Francoeur way out in front of that pitch.
2-2 with one out. Hard got to walk. In their only matchup last year, when Francoeur was with the Phillies, Felipe struck him out. Walked him. Well outside with the last two pitches. Lead runs aboard with one out, bottom 8.
Tough guy to walk.
Ender Inciarte 0 for 2 with a base on balls. Tough guy to double up. Rendon shallow at third. 95 by him.
Well, you can see where he's looking after that swing. He's trying to slap it by Anthony Rendon at third base. Jason Worth giving him a lot of respect in left field too, in a no doubles defense. And you're thinking left on left, he's probably going to hit the ball that way. Look how deep Jason Worth is here.
Foul tip. Strike two.
We talked about the adrenaline on opening day for players. I mean, Max Scherzer early on was a little quick with his body and his arm was late catching up. He was missing away with his fastball to lefties early, locked it in. Turned into just another game for Scherzer. But right now, that's what Felipe Rivero is fighting, that adrenaline rush. You know, tie ball game, 8th inning, opening day.
And a 1-2 pitch is low.
And he looks a little overamped, and it's understandable.
24 years of age. Came with Jose Lobaton. And outfielder Drew Vettleson in the Nathan Carnes deal back in February of 2014. He had 43 strikeouts in 48 innings with the Nats last year.
Overthrow on the slider.
Yeah. Sean Kelly has been up for a while. Eric Ibar is next. Freddie Freeman after him if the inning goes that far. Sounded like a busted bat.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Includes a free subscription at Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Lefty-lefty matchup here. Switch hitter on deck. Runner aboard. With one out. Francoeur a short lead. And a ball guided into left. Worth was playing deep. And it drops in front of him.
I just didn't think Inciarte had enough pop to hit anything over Jason Worth's head if he was playing normal left field. And I was shocked that he was playing him so deep. I mean, way too much respect, in my opinion, right there for Ender Inciarte, a leadoff hitter. I mean, no doubles is one thing if you got a guy like Bryce Harper up that can drive a ball over your head in left field. But maybe I'm wrong and I haven't seen Inciarte play enough. But I thought Worth was playing way too deep to start, and it proves costly right there.
Yeah, guy with 10 career home runs. 2 on, 1 out. Ibar, as mentioned, a switch hitter, and then big time danger on deck. Ibar's another guy who's quick, even though he's 32. He'll have to hit it pretty hard at somebody to get doubled up. And that is down the line and right, and a foul ball.
Place is rocking. Sounds like the old days all of a sudden.
Yep.
So last year, Ibar 270 from each side of the plate.
Wow.
So I think Dusty wants Rivero in there for Freddie Freeman. Then he might go to Sean Kelly for Garcia. First things first.
That ball in the air. Daniel Murphy. Umpires call an infield fly.
Wouldn't you know, opening day comes down to Freddie Freeman against the Washington Nationals with the go-ahead run on second base.
Welcome to the 8th inning, Felipe Rivero.
In the bottom of the 8th. Good conversation going on between pitching. How do you want to handle this, Mike Maddox? Go out there and tell him. This is good stuff. Real good stuff. If you miss baseball, you miss the Nats. They don't get better than this on opening day, folks. This has been a great game.
Freddie Freeman is 0 for 1 against Felipe Rivero with a strikeout last year.
219 versus lefties last year, 298 versus righties.
Anthony Rendon, the only man on the left side of the infield.
I think you jam him. Throw 98 right under his hands. Go in. Fastball's in all day right here.
That's why you have 3 guys on that side of the infield. That's way in there.
That's all right. He's such a good bad ball hitter. That's what you really have to be afraid of right here. He likes to take that inside pitch and just flip it to left.
Fastball in, curveball away.
And maybe they like Sean Kelly versus Adonis Garcia better. We'll see. It's a good pitch. That's a good pitch. Stay right there. If you walk him, you walk him. But you got to be careful right here because he might be swinging.
Classic opening day ball game here. Well played, well pitched. All the runs on homers so far.
I miss baseball. This is great.
Low. Oh, he gets a call.
Cross him up.
The way Ramos caught that made it look unstrike, but it's strike 2. Let's check it.
It was a strike, but this is a cross up, and Wilson Ramos did a nice job of keeping that in front. He called the 3-1 slider right there.
Wow.
Rivero threw the fastball, and it's all Wilson Ramos could do was knock it down in the upper 90s. Freddie Gonzalez doesn't like it, but Pitch Track showed it was a strike.
Yeah, it was right down the middle.
Here we go. 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Game on.
Runners on the move here, and that hit him. It hit Freddie Freeman on the way in, and the bases are loaded.
How about Sean Kelly's first appearance as a Washington National?
Bases loaded, 8th inning.
No big deal.
So the Braves against Rivero, a hit, a strikeout, a walk. He's responsible for 3 base runners, and Sean Kelly about to make his debut with the Nats. Kelly, San Diego, 53 games last year, 2.45 ERA, 63 Ks in 51 innings. That's 11 per 9 innings.
Lots of sliders. He threw it 55% of the time last year at 83. Fastball 45% of the time at 92. I think Dusty Baker making the right call here, obviously. Garcia struck out against a Max Scherzer slider last time up, and he likes that Kelly slider versus the Braves third baseman.
1 out walk, Jeff Francoeur pinch hitting. After that, Inciarte base hit in front of Jason Worth. Freeman hit by a pitch on a full count. Garcia tied the ball game 4 innings ago with a solo shot.
Young players like to swing early in these big situations. Heads up.
Boy, he buries that one, and Wilson Ramos saves maybe the game.
I mean, this is a 58-footer. The slider was obviously the pitch, but an easy take for Garcia. And Wilson Ramos does everything he can to keep this a tied ball game.
Kind of trapped that ball between his arm and the chest protector.
That tells me that Sean Kelly's feeling the situation.
I thought I heard the sound of a baseball hitting bare flesh.
Yeah.
When that thing got him on the bicep.
I'm sure Jose Lobaton with his famous line, "We got ice," screamed it at Wilson Ramos. But I don't know if he heard it right now because this place is rocking.
Not close with either. Ball 2.
Well, now you're painting yourself into a corner. If you're Sean Kelly, you got to throw a strike. And Garcia knows the fastball's coming. And the first 2 sliders haven't been near, so as a hitter, I'm disregarding any rotation I see. I'm all over a fastball.
To Atlanta.
That might be the easiest at bat Adonis Garcia has all season.
Nick Markakis up next. Oliver Perez was up earlier. So Kelly, 1 batter, 4 pitches, nowhere near the strike zone. And the Nationals are down by a run. Oliver Perez signed by the Nats as a free agent December 11th. 48 games with Arizona last year, 3.10 ERA. Struggled in Houston with a 6.75 in 22 ball games. Last year he had an 11 strikeouts per 9 inning rating. And he'll face Nick Markakis here, who is 3 for 5, or pardon me, 1 for 2, 1 for 4 career against him. They've seen each other a little bit in the past, and out here is of utmost importance to keep the Nats from going down by 2.
He's 3 for 2 off Oliver Perez, who throws a fastball 92 and a slider 80. Got to keep this a 1-run ball game. Give yourself a chance in the top of the 9th. Big out right here, said Captain Obvious.
Markakis 0 for 2 with a walk today. And there's a strike, a good one, low in the zone. And the breaking ball just missed.
Give you a different look a lot of times, show you his numbers, quick pitch you, different arm angles. And this is exactly what Oliver Perez was brought to DC for. This situation right here. Big left-hander late in the game. Here's the quick pitch.
Yeah, and he had the left-handed batter turning his back on that one. Third base, Inciarte. Second base, Freeman. Garcia 2 RBIs today with a home run and a walk at first. Got him. Now that's a veteran getting in there and doing his job. Hops over the third base line so as not to touch it. It's up to the Nats against Jason Grilli, Worth, Ramos, and Espinoza.
And just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And your Miller moment of the game has to be the 4-pitch walk to Adonis Garcia. Nats fans not excited about that. And that brought home Jeff Francoeur, who walked to lead the inning off. You don't see Francoeur walk very often, so the base on balls in the 8th haunting the Nats.
Johnny and Ray in the studio for opening day here. We invite you to tune into the Nats Extra postgame show, presented by WB Mason, when this one's over. Jason Worth, 1 for 3 career against Jason Grilli with a home run, 2 RBIs. Grilli was at the tail end of that miraculous recovery by the Nats. The comeback featuring the Dan Uggla home run in this ballpark last year, and Grilli gave it up after Tehran had frittered away a large lead. Jason 0 for 3 today. Grilli 74 career saves, 24 with the Braves last year. His breakout season was 33 with the Pirates in 2013.
Yeah, 2-pitch guy, Carp. Fastball averages 94, slider 83.
There's the slider. Nats get a break. It's 2-0.
Jerry Meals flinched right there. He was thinking about calling that a strike. Watch Meals. The pitch looked good to me, but watch Jerry Meals. He starts to raise up to call it and then decides it's a ball.
That's upstairs, 3-0. Well, something like that can rattle a pitcher, even a veteran, as FP says, amped up on opening day.
Takes you a good couple of weeks to get into the rhythm of the season, get into your routine. But opening day, I don't care who you are, you're excited.
That ball missed inside. Tying run is on base on a 4-pitch walk.
Game on. Nobody really on the bench to run for Jason Worth if you're thinking about that. Trey Turner's in AAA.
Yeah.
You know, Jason would probably be upset that I even just mentioned him. I'm probably going to hear about that one.
Ramos and Espinosa. Yeah, Michael A. Taylor had to come into the game earlier, or we'd see him at first base. Nats need a left-handed bat for the number 9 spot. Drew or Robinson when it gets down that far. Wilson Ramos 1 for 3. 0 for 4 career against Jason Grilli.
Look at the defense the Braves are setting up. Wilson Ramos has the whole right side. It's almost a shift completely on the left side. Freddie Freeman has to hold Jason Worth on. But, I mean, you could hit a 57 hopper through here and you got first and third. This is, and we've seen Wilson do that many times.
Funny thing is, for a ball in the air, they pinch him toward right center. Breaking ball. Appeared to be hanging up there for a moment. Ramos foul tipped it.
You know, it's hard to steer the baseball. It's hard to guide it. But in this situation, if you're Wilson Ramos, you know, you have to feel like get your hands inside the baseball and hit something the other way, because that's a free hit if you just get fisted to the right side.
Fastball up. Should this one go to the bottom of the ninth, Blake Treinen getting ready. If the Nats could hop on top, you probably see Papelbon, and who's walking around back there, if they get a couple of guys on base.
Or if he shoots one in the bleachers.
Nice thought. 1 and 2, nobody out.
He's trying to go that way.
Yeah, that was an inside out swing.
Beckham's kind of creeping over a little bit more with 2 strikes than he, early in the count. He was standing right over second base.
Ramos, and there it is. What a great at bat by a big, strong pull hitter. 2 on, nobody out. Danny Espinosa next.
I mean, if the Braves are playing straight up right there, that's 4-6-3 double play, and there's 2 outs, nobody on. I mean, he hit this right where the second baseman's been standing for 130 plus years, but you could see the whole at bat. He never sees this shift. That's right at a second baseman. Beckham was playing him up the middle the whole time. Great piece of hitting by Wilson Ramos. Nats in business here in the top of the 9th. Got to bunt Danny Espinosa here, don't you?
You would think so, and Danny's such a good bunter and runner. He could beat out a bunt. Stephen Drew has come out on deck. Another shortstop who's got pop.
It's a great game. Just a great game right out of the gate. Now, what else do you want?
Danny Espinosa, career 0 for 2 against Grilli with a couple of strikeouts and a walk. Squares up, sees the pitch low, ball 1.
Dusty Baker's a guy that'll switch it up on occasion, where he'll put on a bunt early in the count, then he'll put on a hit and run later. But with nobody out, there's no way he's going to hit and run right here. This is a straight bunt situation for Danny Espinosa. And for all you young players out there, in a sacrifice situation, bunt strikes, #1 rule. If it's a ball, pull the bat back.
Freeman really coming in. So Espinosa looking to the third base line.
And in these situations, you look at your defense, how they're set. Right there, Garcia went to the line. Jason Grilli's in charge of the third baseline right here. So Espinosa's doing the right thing. Bunt it to third. Maybe hang in there just a click longer and make sure the bunt's down before you run. But unless Freddie Gonzalez puts on a defense right here, the play is to bunt it to Garcia at third and let Jason Worth walk in behind.
What a great replay from the lower third camera showing Danny walking into the bunt right there. Some pitchers you can't do that against. He's deep in the box right now. Here comes Freeman. And Danny way late for that. Now the choice, do you have to have him swing away after he's bunted twice poorly?
Long look by Bob Henley into the dugout. And he's looking to see if they're putting it on with 2 strikes.
Game on the line right here. 2 on, nobody out, top of the 9th. He's going to bunt a third one, and he does it beautifully. A chance to beat it out. Bases loaded, nobody out. Unbelievable bunt on an 0-2 count.
Oh, this is so good. I mean, the Masters is right around here on Thursday, and Danny Espinosa just went Pro V1X Balata and spun it back to home plate with 2 strikes. And basically the game on the line. He doesn't get this down. You never know what's going to happen, but a perfect bunt with 2 strikes by Danny Espinosa loads the bases. How about that?
And how ironic is this? Stephen Drew, a native of Hayhira, Georgia, still lives here in the state of Georgia, is the pinch hitter for the Nats in the top of the 9th. Breaking ball in there. Drew 0 for 4 career against Grilli with a walk and 2 strikeouts.
And basically contact is what you're looking for. Hey, the infield's back. They're playing for the double play. You have to concede the run right here. Ideally, you want to hit a gap, if not a sac fly, but just contact.
'92 couldn't get to it. 0-2. Well, there was a 1-out walk in the bottom of the 8th and a leadoff walk in the top of the 9th. Pitchers getting in trouble. Sounded like Grilli reached back for a little extra there, grunting as he unleashed that fastball. "33-year-old Stephen Drew."
He wanted to. Good take.
Jim Johnson, the right-hander. Eric O'Flaherty, the lefty. And a 2-2 gets him. Hard curveball that locked up Drew, and now Michael A. Taylor.
Pretty good pitch by Grilli. Backdoor slider. Drew gave up on it, came back and got the outside corner. So the line moves to Michael Taylor, who, if I'm right, hit a grand slam in Arizona in a very similar situation last year.
Yeah, and did not start that game either.
Bryce Harper got thrown out. Michael Taylor came in and was a hero.
But Michael's got to put the ball in play here. Struck out his last time up. He's 0 for 2. 0 for 1 against Grilli. And he gets one into the outfield. Is it deep enough? Worth is the runner. Henley sends him. It's a perfect throw, and the ball gets away. The Nats tie the game, and the runners move up to second and third. The throw was right on home plate. Sac fly for Taylor.
Hey, Jason Worth might have jammed his knee in A.J. Pierzynski, but you love the aggressive nature. There you go. There's Dusty Baker baseball. Easy for me to say here in the top of the ninth. But look how shallow this ball is. Inciarte can throw, and there's never a doubt between Bob Henley and Jason Worth on what's going to happen. The throw beats Worth by 2 steps. Pierzynski never had the baseball. He never had it in his glove to make a tag, but a clutch throw by Inciarte. You love the fact that the Nats are taking a chance. The game's either going extra innings or it's over right here. And Jason Worth with a late tough slide points at the baseball, and this one's tied.
Anthony Rendon, 2 runners moved up on that play.
Cardiac Nats, folks, 2016 version.
They had to give an error because of the other runners that moved up, and that's upstairs to Rendon.
And you got to like this matchup right here if you're Dusty Baker. Anthony Rendon's hit it on the screws every single time today.
Anthony Rendon has hit the ball hard 4 times today. That's a breaking ball out into left center, chasing it Inciarte. He's there, and he grabs it right in front of the track. Some twists and turns in this game. Early, it was the long ball. Now it's small ball who will win.
Well, not always the third base coach's call on this. I mean, there's times when you can get in an argument with him while the ball's in the air and say, he's saying no, 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 and you're saying I'm going. And it's ultimately your call as the base runner, whether you go or not. And Jason Worth with the late tough slide. Look at Jason Grilli ready to ring him up there in the background. What a great shot that is. If that doesn't encompass that whole play all in one. And you can't play this game scared. You really can't. If you stay right there and you leave it up to the next hitter, Anthony Rendon, I love the gamble. Even if Jason Worth got thrown out and we're driving home right now, I love the gamble. Fearless baseball wins ball games every single time.
Blake Treinen now. Relievers, young and veteran, thrown into the fire in this ball game on opening day.
Get it out of your system.
Hector Oliveira, 1-for-1 career against Blake, who's got to harness that amazing stuff and power of his and throw strikes.
Easy to say.
Kelly Johnson hitting here for Oliveira. Kelly Johnson, 1-for-1 career against Blake Treinen. And left-handers have been the big problem for Blake over the last year and a half.
You're just seeing a lot of nerves right now out of the bullpen on both sides. Jason Grilli, a veteran, you saw how amped up he was. His body was quick, his arm was trailing, he couldn't throw strikes. To harness your delivery for a pitcher on opening day and not get too quick and jump out there and have your arm trailing and lose your release point is not an easy thing to do. It's like a hitter today. You look at the scoreboard, there's only 11 hits in this ball game. As a hitter, when you're amped up, you jump at the pitcher, and it's tough to hit. So I think the point of today's game is there's been a lot of guys that you can see are very overexcited on opening day. Not too many people talk about it, but I don't care who you are, how many you played, you're always excited.
A.J. Pierzynski, 1-for-3 career with an RBI against Treinen. The Nats started with Danny Espinosa on the right field side of the second base bag, and then he shifted back just to the left field side. But that at bat by Wilson Ramos is what really made that inning happen for the Nats.
Well,
behind in the count, 2-strike count, they're over shifting, and he takes advantage of that defense.
Well, that and, you know, a 2-strike bunt by Danny Espinosa, that'll get your blood going when you square around with 2 strikes. I like the fact that he changed it up, and he tried the bunt to third twice. It didn't work, and then he brought one with him. He's always been more comfortable left-handed bringing the bunt with him towards second base.
A couple of huge at-bats there. Brzezinski up the middle. They moved Espinosa. He gets to the ball and turns a 6-3 double play.
What an athletic play by Danny Espinosa. Ball took him to his left. He had to hit the brakes, come back to second base, go against the grain, and he does a jump throw right on the money to Ryan Zimmerman. So you want to see an athlete, folks? Watch this play. Going the other way, hit the brakes, jump off the bag, and throw all in one motion. How gorgeous was that by Danny Espinosa? Beautiful play by the Nats shortstop-ish.
Here's Gordon Beckham, the second baseman, overmatched last time when he was blown away by Felipe Rivero to start the 8th. Then Felipe lost the plate.
And that should relax Blake Treinen.
Beckham facing him for the first time. 0-2. Ladies and gentlemen, only 161 more of these. We're going to the top of the 10th in a scintillating 3-3 game. Bryce Harper will lead off.
Head to the top of the 10th inning. I mean, what do you want? You waited 6 months for baseball. It's opening day, and this game's had everything from Max Scherzer doing his thing, Bryce Harper hitting a home run, his first at-bat of the year, Daniel Murphy, the new Nat, going deep to tie it at 2. Danny Espinosa with a 2-strike bunt. Well, I mean, this game has had everything. And like you said, going to break, line of the day. I don't know if I can take 161 more of these.
You have no choice. Eric O'Flaherty, mainstay of the Atlanta bullpen from 2009 through the 13th season. Stops in Oakland and with the Mets since. And the Braves just brought him back, purchasing him from the Pirates on March 27th.
Well, he must not be very popular because they just booed him off the mound.
Yeah, nothing to do with Bryce Harper stepping in. Bryce 1 for 5 career against him. '31-year-old veteran, 23-year-old defending MVP, 2 hopper right side, 1 out. Bryce is 1 for 3 with 2 walks today. Ryan Zimmerman next.
And leave him in to face Zim.
Yeah, they've got Jim Johnson. Alexi Ogando, former Texas Ranger, who they've added to their bullpen. Zimmerman against O'Flaherty. Not as great as you might think, 2 for 11. So Eric's found a way to get Ryan out.
Lefty's career 209 versus O'Flaherty. Righty's 271.
Ryan 1 for 4 today, 3 ground balls, a strikeout. O'Flaherty keeping the ball down, 2-0. Hard hit. That's the second baseman over there. And he completely throws it away. Zimmerman goes to second. Gordon Beckham has struck out twice, and now he's thrown a ball about 10 feet off target. And FP, you've talked about this before. Guys playing where they're not used to, and sometimes different throws as far as angles go, but a major leaguer should make a better throw than that.
Yeah, that's not even close. That's not even the same area code. He threw this one to Buckhead. I mean, Davey Lopes had a better chance than Freddie Freeman. So score that one 4 to Davey Lopes.
Big break for the Nats.
If you want to break it down, he stopped his feet. Anytime as an infielder, when you stop your feet and don't go toward the target, who knows where the throw is going to be, because your arm slot and your release point won't be where you need it to.
Lefty with Murphy here.
Got to make that hurt.
Hey, there he goes again, 2-0. Evidently that's Murph when the pitch is really tight.
He's the new Yunel Escobar this year. Always been a very animated player.
Wow. Almost took his belt buckle off again.
You remember last year, I think he didn't like a pitch. He was chirping from the Mets dugout at Nats Park, and the umpire said that's enough, and he turned around and pointed at Murphy on his back and said, "It's me. I'm the one who's been chirping in the dugout." So he's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I remember that.
He didn't think that was a strike.
Well, there's a way to handle that.
Hey, you turn around to Jerry Meals and you say, that wasn't a strike.
3-1 now. Murphy left field. Fair ball. It's on the ground. Zimmerman home. And there's the doubles machine known as Daniel Murphy. 4-3 Nationals. They make the error hurt badly.
Good teams do that. You give them an extra out, especially late in the game, they're going to make you pay. And Daniel Murphy with a nice debut for the Nats, a couple of walks, a home run, and now the go-ahead double down the left field line. So 2 for 3, couple of walks, on base 4 times today in his Nats debut. I know it's game 1, but stay hot, Daniel Murphy.
That's it for O'Flaherty with Jason Worth, Wilson Ramos, right-handed batters coming in. So the Nats have finally retaken the lead. It's the first time since the 4th inning they've been ahead here on opening day. Murphy, as he puts the Nats on top. And for Murphy, his 229th career double. Beckham with that really bad throw from the shortstop side of second base. And now it's former Oriole Jim Johnson who takes on Jason Worth.
Saved 101 games for the O's in 2012 and 2013 combined. Fastball, curveball, change. 3-pitch guy. Fastball averaged 94 last year.
Yeah, he was here last year for 49 games, moved on to the Dodgers, and then the Braves re-signed him as a free agent November 30th. Jason Worth drew that walk against Jason Grilli that led off the 9th inning. 0-1, and that's way inside.
If you start yelling "I" when the balls are inside, we got problems.
Papelbon ready. Worth 1 for 5 career against Jim Johnson. To the shortstop, playing in a really deep pull position. That throw on target, 2 outs. Bo Porter's the guy who handles the defense for Freddie Freeman. They've been out in some different kind of defensive formations tonight.
Now, when Bo Porter was a manager of the Houston Astros, they used to do all kinds of shifts.
Yeah.
And they're playing Wilson Ramos the same way up the middle with Beckham, but the only difference here is Freddie Freeman doesn't have to hold a runner on, so he's kind of closing up that gap that was there last time for Wilson.
So here's Ramos, 1 for 3 against Johnson. Bo Porter's favorite play when he was with Houston was the ground ball to the right side with a runner at second and fewer than 2 outs, and trying to throw him out at third.
I'm just still not a fan of trying to reinvent the wheel. Maybe I'll come around.
Don't. Ramos made an offer. He did hold, says Ron Kulpa.
I just think from a mental standpoint, if I'm a pitcher, am I just as excited when the shift works as disappointed as I am when it doesn't work? And I think if you ask pitchers, it really gets in their head when they feel like instantaneously they did their job and there's a 14 hopper to short, but then there's no shortstop standing there. That, to me, has a bigger effect on a guy's psyche than a shift that works. I know there's all kinds of data that shows it saves runs over a 6-month campaign, all that stuff. But I'm talking about intangible stuff that isn't on the stat sheet. How does it affect my pitcher mentally when the guy's not standing there where he's been standing for 130 years? There's no data to show that.
3-1, Ramos late. Some heavy sink on that 91. Ramos strikes out. But the Nats turn an error into a huge run. Jonathan Papelbon has 349 career saves. Bottom of the order, and then the top for the Braves ahead. Or miss a homer or game-changing play. By the way, we'll have a homer in a moment. For Nats alerts and opportunities to win exclusive prizes, including meet and greets with players, text Nationals to 29292. Nationals to 29292. The Nats got Daniel Murphy off Broadway, and he has had quite a debut.
He walked his first time up, so his first official at-bat as a Washington National. He goes yard straight away center field and really enjoyed it. And then we enjoyed his first double as a Washington National in the top of the 10th, scoring Ryan Zimmerman, who reached on a 2-base error. Pretty good debut for Daniel Murphy, on base 4 times today.
Jonathan Papelbon will face Jeff Francoeur, who came in to pinch hit in the 8th inning. Stayed into play right field.
3-pitch guy, fastball, slider, split as the out pitch. Fastball averaged 91.4 miles an hour last year.
Francoeur career against Papelbon, 1 for 7 with a run batted in. High in the air to left. Jason Worth under it. Calls it. 1 out. What do we have in store for you Wednesday night? We'll wait and see after this one's over. The Nats on top, trying to grab a dramatic win. Steven Strasburg and Bud Norris.
You need a day off after this one.
This is great. Ender Inciarte. 0 for 1 against Papelbon with a ground out. Showed bunt for a second, then took a strike. Anthony Rendon was already on the grass at third.
Papelbon fields his position well. He's a guy you have to think twice about bunting on.
Last year, 1.59 ERA with the Phils, 3.04 with the Nats. 24 saves combined. In the zone, bottom of it with 91, strike 2. Got him. took a little bit off with the mid-80s changeup. 2 down.
You know, it's pretty obvious that he's not the most popular Nat, but if he does his thing and comes out and saves games, you know, you never want to tell fans what to do, but this guy's part of your ball club that you're rooting for, and if you want to get to where you want to get to this year as a Nats fan, he has to have a good season and be a big part of it.
Yeah.
And last year is last year, and I'm all about bygones be bygones and turning the page. This is a new season.
He has come out throwing strikes here. Eric Ibar, 2 for 9 career against him. Rendon even with a bag at third. $48,282 paid today.
Great crowd. They were into it.
They booed Bryce. They booed Jason. Did the tomahawk chop a few times. And then had to watch as they gave away an unearned run in ugly fashion in the top of this inning. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 down. Fair ball. Zimmerman. And the Nats grab the season opener.
Well, folks, I think you learned a lot about your ball club today. A 19-4 spring and a feeling of winning kind of carries into opening day. And when you thought they were out of it, they found a way to fight back and win this one. And win number 1672 career for Dusty Baker. The Nats are undefeated.
And the good thing about that 9th inning, no suspense from the closer. Fly ball, strikeout, ground out. The Nationals win it 4-3 after Jonathan Papelbon, the 350th save of his big league career. The Nats in 3 hours and 23 minutes beat the Braves 4-3. Hope you can join us on Wednesday when the Nats and Braves wrap up the series. We'll get you going with Johnny and Ray at 6:30. Steven Strasburg against Bud Norris. This has been a presentation of Masson. Nats Extra straight ahead. And from Atlanta, see you later.